for a little salvation. Those flags you wave represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down. It's your history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory.
首先，让我们欢迎来自北美 LCS 赛区的 Team Liquid。上路 Impact。打野 X Missy。中路 Jensen， 下路 Double Left， 辅助 Core JJ， 替补打野 Mikey Young， 教练。接着，让我们欢迎他们的对手，来自欧洲 LEC 赛区的 G2 Esports。上路 Wonder。打野 Yankos， 中路 Caps， 下路 Herbs， 辅助 Mickey， 替补辅助 Promise Q， 教练 Grab， 让我们用最热情的掌声，再一次欢迎来到总决赛的两支队伍。
For the first time in our international history, Europe versus North America, the MSI final.
I mean, this is history, and NA versus EU finals is something people dreamed about since the early days of League.
I think the only thing that the NA and EU fans agree with is that we're not losing to the other side.
It's right there to take. Oh, if you want it, the world is watching.
We already took down the reigning champions. This is what we were built for, and it's a lot more than just winning. It's showing that we are the best team in the world, and that's what we all want.
I feel like we have so much more to offer than they do. That's why I'm not really scared.
I'm really happy that we showed up, and when they showed up, now we can just fight.
You want your legacy to be solid, like cemented in everyone's mind. And people really only can remember the winners.
I want to be on top and stay on top. For me, it's not just enough to be a champion. I want to be a legend.
Goes all the way back in with the flip. 5-point strike. Double kill for Tap. Oh, shockwave. Next is one or two more hits. Maybe not comes out. One left. This game 5.
Liquid not willing to let him walk away with the core JJ going in.
Absolutely outplayed.
Welcome to the finals of the 2019 Mid-Season Invitational, and who would have believed it was North America's Team Liquid versus Europe's G2 Esports, and here we are.
Good luck, Kobe. Good luck.
The two best teams of the tournament come from North America and Europe.
Yes, they do. It's crazy to think that this is where we ended up. Expectations coming into the tournament were that it would be Invictus Gaming versus SK Telecom. Both Titans were toppled, and now we have Team Liquid versus G2.
And it has been such an enjoyable tournament to watch. Not only have they subverted expectations, but they have done it in such an exciting manner that makes people coming into this finals legitimately excited for either side to win.
Yeah, it would be the first major Riot title for North America ever, and the first for Europe since the first World Championship in 2011. This is historic to make it here, and beyond that, to actually win and take your first title in so long.
And this is it. Someone has to take it. It's either North America or Europe. One of us has got to get it. You know, last year at the World Finals, many European fans were excited, but then they ended up getting 3-0'd, and they had to walk away upset. Today, regardless of the outcome, the West can feel happy and proud that both these teams made it to this point.
And both of these teams really have stayed true to themselves, true to their identities. And that's why people are also extremely excited just for the Champion Select to start. Because there's so many looks that we have seen from G2, and you wonder, what are the other surprises lying in wait, saved for the finals?
There's probably a lot. Especially, what's interesting as well is when you think about the brackets, you have G2 coming in expecting to play against IG, and then suddenly, oh, it's actually Team Liquid pulling the upset. On Team Liquid's side, I thought, you know, the G2 versus SKT matchup was a lot closer on paper. G2 had 2-0'd them during the group stage, even though SKT was looking a bit hotter, but at least that was a bit more of an expectation coming in. People thought Team Liquid was the number 4 team in this tournament, and they squeaked by the group stage 4 and 6. For G2, they were number 2 or 3, and they have subverted somewhat to now get here to the finals and have that really good shot at winning it.
Yeah, and the last time that G2 was at a final at MSI was against SK Telecom, and the fact that they were able to find that win yesterday was definitely a huge challenge for them to overcome. And now, for them and Europe, there's only one more hurdle left to overcome. But, you know, you then have to compare that to the weight of North America, where Team Liquid now make it to their second MSI final.
Алло. Так. Так. Угу. Извините. Микрофон выключен был. Хрен знает почему. Если громко скажете.
Actually earn their spots in the finals and deservedly extremely strong. And so we've done a great job, gentlemen, of setting stakes, making people realize the weight of this. So let's talk about some League of Legends and the drafting that we're going to be seeing between these two teams.
Микикс
The thing that
радуется.
I noticed yesterday between G2 and SKT was early game was the name of the game, and the team that got that early advantage was the one that ran away. Definitely true. That's why we've had a spotlight on junglers this entire tournament. You cannot succeed without your jungler succeeding in the early game. And especially true, as Deficio pointed out on the analyst desk, for the G2 series, that is where they're looking. To me, though, my biggest question coming into this is what is going to happen with this Pike pick? Because of all of the different looks that I've seen from G2, the Pike is the scariest. The flexibility of it and the sheer mobility of this champion, creating chaos, sharing changing concepts. And we are in a champion select. We are in one of the MSI 2019 finals. Team Liquid taking on G2 Esports. And what shocked me already was TL was on the receiving end in 96% of their games of the Tarek ban. It's TL themselves actually dropping it off the table. Oh, I take that back. We do have the graphics are wrong. G2 is the blue side here. They are the ones who banned Tarek. They are the ones who dropped that off the table here as Team Liquid do again receive that ban. So it is G2 with the Galio, the Tarek, and the Rise ban. Fascinating that they actually look to take that one away. Typically, when we see Team Liquid playing on the red side, they actually put a lot of focus onto denying that Rise pick away from their opposition. Well, actually, in their semi-final, they left it open, and then they traded it to grab the Silas themselves. Exactly. The Silas has been their most successful of the flex picks, and the Rise so successful for G2. So it's so weird to see each team banning those two champions out and leaving up the junglers. Let's take a look at, and there it is. The Jarvan is going to be the first one locked in. So much success throughout this tournament with junglers that have the ability to make the early game impact on the different lanes. And again, I want to reiterate, their graphic has been updated. G2 did choose blue side for game one, as was their right as the higher seed. This is Wonder taking the Jarvan, bringing it out.
Так, что у нас по банам-то? Та-та-та-та-та. Да, Сону Тарик связку забанили. Сайлоса, естественно, забанили. Каль забанили. Рексай Open. Рексай Open.
Jungle pick, whether that be the Rek'Sai, the Jarvan, and sometimes even the Skarner. But this time right now, they've already locked in Varus. This heavily suggested with the Galio gone, Tom Kent should be the priority. And some of the reasons throughout this tournament we've seen so much priority put on Varus, very strong laner. Also, bringing the ultimate with that crowd control to the mid-game team fights is a huge part of the identity of Team Liquid. Speaking of identity, Xfinity gonna lock in the Skarner. This is the champion that he used to get that fourth game victory over Invictus Gaming, picking it into the Rek'Sai and finding a lot of success. And I think Team Liquid, they didn't want to go Tom Kent here because they were afraid.
Сейчас, секунду. Оп. Обновим.
And they have the option to pivot right now, but it looks like that they don't want it. On a very big pick for Mickey X. Looks best when he is on an aggressor. He can go forward, start the team fights. Perks, of course, really good on the Xayah alongside as a player. Back when he was a mid laner, would still play Xayah and get funneled on it. Certainly a lot of expertise in this champion. This is a premier bottom lane for G2. Yeah, definitely a huge second round. Couple of power picks here for G2. Mickey X.
Так, Скарнер, видимо, будет достаточно жестким пиком в этой серии, потому что его брали оба лесника в своих БО5 сериях и выиграли игры на нем, и он достаточно сильно себя показывал. G2 взяли птицы дуо, хорошая связочка. Скорее всего, наверное, они должны давить линию.
First damage to try and instantly kill him upon initiation, because that is the weakness of the champion, bit squishy. G2 now looking to take away some of the safe picks that Impact has often defaulted to, the cannon being the main one. They may look to take away the Gangplank, but he didn't actually play it a single time in their best of 5 against Invictus Gaming. So we'll see what G2 look to take away off the board. Maybe they look to take away Jensen Syndra or Orianna if they consider it a big threat, considering that LeBlanc is already gone.
Ника забанили. Вундеру.
We're going to see mages throughout in the mid lane here. One funnel ban for G2 Esports. How good is their homework? What do they think Team Liquid would pick? to best round out the competition. Vladimir on the table. It's two fans at Impact. Typically plays long range, safe laners who don't.
Импакт о чем-то усиленно говорит с тренером.
And then playing in the team fights, the Kennen, the Vladimir, and the Nico. All prime picks for him are gone. Exactly. Those big AoE abilities for team fights have been the common thread in Impact picks. So very good, I think. Couple of last bands there on the side of G2 trying to take that away. But he goes right back to where he started. In the group stage, Impact, the single best performing player of Team Liquid. Gameplay was the mainstay.
Так, мне нужно проверить, как меня слышно. Вообще, что у нас там с балансом звука. Поэтому сейчас сделаем дабл звук. Все прекрасно, слушайте, баланс вроде отличный. Так. К сожалению, Капса посадили не на плеймейкающего мидлейнера. Увы. Хоть я люблю Моргану, но на мидлейне. Но, конечно, Капса хочется видеть. Других персонажей. Но Коби все правильно говорит. Моргана против Скарнера. Ну, не только, но... Это мощный инструмент защиты. Вообще не знаю, как себя сейчас чувствует Свейн. То есть его не трогали, но... Мне кажется, не знаю, мне кажется, Вундеру будет сложновато. Почему-то. На лайнфазе. Забавно у них. У TL монстр логотип с такими линиями, ну типа рваными ранами. А у G2 какие-то тоже 4 полоски, перечеркнутые другой. Игроки замены, которые ни разу не вышли на поле. Кубок. А где шар?
Or TL will be immortalized in Summoner's Rift itself for winning MSI 2019. I just want to revel in a couple more seconds.
Кубок, кстати, там вон на верхней линии где-то, между прочим.
G2 and Team Liquid have forced the entire competitive League of Legends scene into a paradigm shift. EU and NA fighting for everything.
Так, а что за... А какого хрена у меня этот на 0 поставился? Что происходит, блин?
Dangerously low. Mickey could have considered actually committing the ignite initially, but out they go after he earns about 30 gold.
Jensen is sitting on the cleanse. Mickey, the cooldown of the W is coming up soon. They could look for a play onto Core JJ. Forced to flash very early on. Questionable decision making there from Core JJ.
Yeah, waiting in the brush, knowing 4 members are coming just to get a tongue lash, and then having to blow your flash for it. North America already on the losing end here of the level 1.
But TL's bottom lane will be able to get priority in this 2 versus 2 because Perks and Mickey forced to assist in terms of the early jungle advantage. But actually, Core JJ and Double not going to try and leverage this right now. So actually, it's going to be a very even start.
And you can watch the pathing for the Jarvan of G2 right now. Jankos is in the river right now. Scuttle spawns in a few seconds, but he's already next to that brush as well. If there is a gank to be had, now he's on a ward, so it's not going to be too stealthy. But if there was an attempt for a bot lane pressure, it would be there.
Meanwhile, Xmithy clears off the red buff and the rapid hit before heading to the top side Scuttle. They will trade after the vision's been given over. Looks like Jankos is headed towards the Scuttle Crab to try and contest it. His mid lane is pushed. Xmithy does not have the support of his lanes.
He has the damage though, and with it being stunned, Smite will do bonus damage, gets it out before his
не
opposing
очень
jungler can
хочет
show up. And Xmithy is currently up the camp right now as Wonder. Grabs the 3 gold off the top, couple 3 health, and we see the top lane was pushed in as the expectation is for this matchup.
Yeah, that is the exchange of
Типа
going for the
прошел через мой
possibility of
топ-лейн,
an early gank.
плотина
Just trying to
локи.
get down to the Skull Crab first there for Jankos, whereas Xmithy immediately on Skarner. You can annihilate those AoE camps even early on.
Now, what you'll notice is that Wonder running the Grasp of the Undying rather than the typical Klepto that we often see for Swain picks. One of the reasons for that is because something we've talked a lot about is how Impact likes to play safe, and on the gangplank, it can be difficult to necessarily pick up those Klepto procs. So going for more of the sustained route and going much more for the, I'm just going to trade back with you every now and then, you try and hit me with your Q, well, fun fact, I'm going to hit you with mine. And you can see how every single time, Wonder's coming out ahead in this race.
Nice thunder on a core JJ, dropped down about half HP, puts up the shield, but still chunked down a ton, about 250.
Да, Перкс Микикс давит, все
Yeah,
как
and good focus there.
предполагается.
You want to continue to attack the Tom Kench. There's no flash on core JJ, as well as whittling down the health bar.
Ну, как прям агрессивно на лайну возвращается, вообще ничего не боится. Поставил вард, но... Ну, вард свое дело сделал, как бы Смити снова запалился, хотя мог бы и не палиться.
Yeah, thanks to the pressure that G2's bot lane is applying, G2 actually have pressure in all 3 lanes right now. The Morgana has consistently pushed up in this 1 versus 1. It's very difficult for many mages to trade against the Morg because you see this Tormented Soil, it goes down, it forces the push, and the Black Shield means that you're often going to lose out on these small trades in the lane.
Plus, the fact that the level 1 forced Jensen 2 corrupting potion charges very early on, took 90% of his health bar in damage off the invade from G2. Currently, we're having a look bottom from Jankos in that Fog of War right now.
And he's in that brush right there, so if there is a play to be had, it could be a knockup on a double. You can see Corjay playing towards the back. The slow is there, the knockup, they're gonna find one! And they're burning first blood for G2 in the final! Xmithy has to run for the hills as TP comes in from an extra member. There is no extra kill to be had.
Как сделал телепорт, очень агрессивно зашел, поймал. Они забирают дабл. Нет.
What a play at a G2.
Still, G2 focusing on that weakness that they opened up in the level 1. Attacking Core JJ, no flash on the Tom Kench. First blood for G2.
Here we see the setup. Jankos comes in from the
Так,
lane.
сейчас мне нужно кое-что проверить, звук работает.
In the level 1, attacking Core JJ, no flash on the Tom Kench. First blood for G2.
Here we see the setup. Jankos comes in from the lane.
Так, сейчас мне нужно кое-что проверить, звук работает.
In the level 1, attacking Core JJ.
Да, все в порядке.
Walking up past the minions here.
Можно даже еще прибавить.
The arrow gets the flash off of the AD carry as well.
Now, great play out of G2 as we have Jankos coming down as well, and he knows there's no ward on him as Doublelift's is very low on health, and Xmithy walks by a ward for this counter gank. This is a known 3-on-3. Now, do they have the damage output? Can CoreJJ save the target? The slow comes in, Mickey jumps back, and it looks like for now a safe recall, but our recall can be stopped. There are wards in that brush.
Great positioning there from CoreJJ to keep his AD carry alive.
They're gonna go.
Ooh, they're going on Xmithy.
They know Doublelift isn't there. The slow
Это минус Xmithy. Это минус двое.
And here comes the TVs from everyone else. They try to buy some time, but CoreJJ gonna die yet again.
Импакт придет первым, но Вундер очень быстро подключился. Импакт пушнул. И нет, это минус импакт. Вундер еще подтянул его. Господи, как же хорош Свейн. Не знаю, это выглядит очень изи для G2 после вчерашнего. Опа, Дженсен убьет Капса сейчас.
Jensen trying to do work there in the mid lane with a disaster for Team Liquid that has gone on the bottom side. G2 are continuing to keep up this pressure. Doublelift on the ward here, getting the recall off, but Xmithy and CoreJJ still far up in the lane, so as soon as it completes, Jankos and Mickey X know they can go for this.
And notice how both top laners have just gone back to base. Wonder is waiting for the potential TP as Impact immediately comes in. At this point, Xmithy and Impact realize they cannot win a 2 versus 4, so they split apart and they get away with minimal losses if they can.
Серия, конечно же, только началась, даже если первая игра будет за G2, еще все равно ничего не понятно, но тем не менее Invictus Gaming играли вообще непонятно в какую Лигу Легенд. Это выглядело слишком легко для Team Liquid, и для меня было похоже на какую-то аномалию, которая происходит там один раз в жизни. Что мощнейшая команда просто превратилась в ничто. Ничто случилось. Поэтому после вчерашнего БО5, если честно, выглядит как легчайшая для G2. Но посмотрим. Все, импакт побежал в обратную сторону. Выдал флэш, конечно, из Вундера, но флешаться за килл — это нормально.
Is taken down. This is exactly what we talked about, Kobe, and Jankos reads it too. He finds himself his 4th kill of the game, 100% kill participation. And coming into this series, you were talking about it, Kobe. We keep our eyes on the junglers, and so far Jankos is the one that's getting his early lead.
Только 6-го начнет действовать, и то не на всех лайнах у него получится достичь успеха.
As G2 can find ways to win through every single one of these lanes. Caps very frequently selfless in his ability to roam down or TP down to the sides and get those
Блин, посмотрите на фарм Импакта. Насколько огромное давление на него оказывается. Вундер прекрасно фармит для человека, который играет на Свене.
And this is something that Deficio was saying on the desk, where Caps is a player that is more than happy to sacrifice his own resources to better enable the team. And he's an individual that on Morgana can just offer a lot of utility. He's not there to be the damage dealer. He's there to provide a black shield, provide the CC from his binary ult, and then allow players like Perks, like Wonder to be the big threats as we move into the game.
And of course, good thing for that is both Wonder and Perks are the gold leaders of the game. Everyone else on Rift now a fight towards bottom side yet again. Jankos here to counter game. The Predator will be nothing.
Мне казалось, что Капсу больше все-таки нравится, когда на него делается ставка.
Used to get in position. Jankos is the level ahead, and so him going down bottom side for the counter game as well means there's no fight opportunity.
Well, they find the ult on a Perks, though. Good damage. Now the ult on top. Looking for the top. Underneath the turret. Gangplank can't even turn around. 5-0 to G2.
Doublelift looks like that he's in a position to punish Perks. He throws out the ultimate and they think, hey, we can go for this. But Mickey says, no, you will not touch my AD carry. Immediately flash ulti on top of Doublelift and forces him to collapse.
And whenever a team has this much control over bottom side of the map, means Dragon is theirs for the taking. Xmithy's full health, and he wants to contest it. Doublelift, as you can see on the mini-map, though, is so far away, they won't have the numbers to do it.
Tormented Soul helps guarantee it, and the last auto attack comes through as the Dragons picked up at 10 minutes. G2 Esports, the goal lead already 3,000. The Ocean Drake helps cement it. They are smashing game one.
Take another look at this. Core JJ uses the Devour on Doublelift, and as you said, they did get the ultimate, but Mickey X goes right in, immediately lands a knockup, and we're back to live, back to a dead Tom Kench.
Looks like Core JJ ulted the Skarner in, but there were already reinforcements, and the 3v2 is an easy kill. This is getting out of hand. Team Liquid falling away rapidly as you have an answer for every single move that is made.
Jankos is popping off in this game. He just seems to be in the right place at the right time at every single
Янкос, конечно, MVP, тут все понятно.
Every single kill, and he's almost at a point where he has that license to kill.
Yeah, it's just a case of hammering an advantage on the map in the same spot over and over and over again. Team Liquid trying to make plays there, but they're so weak that they're always starting with a disadvantage and overextending here and being punished. Here's another look at the attempt at trying to right what has gone wrong here, but they go right into
Ой, как же это, ой, как это плохо. Боже мой, как же это было плохо. Импакт мертв. О, я где-то уже это видел. Дежавю. У Янкоса нет ульты.
of kills, a wave of ward. Impact is no longer allowed to
На
lane
этот
up
раз
here.
Импакт спасен.
Really good play there from Impact. Is the same thing that he does before, where
Кстати, у Импакта флэш откатился быстрее, чем у Вундера. То есть у Импакта есть... Есть эта руна на 5% перезарядки флэша, а у Вундера нет. Это важно, потому что они флэшали одновременно. Так и из-за этой руны Вундер, соответственно, не имел флэша и не добил Импакт. Не флэшнулся за ним, не нажал Q. Не добил его. Вот так вот.
Ooh, an attempted fight almost comes through, but Jankos gets into the pocket board just in time, but Impact still
Ну,
chasing out this
Импакта
one,
нету
has the
никакого
flash,
контроля,
though
поэтому
Jankos could get
Янкос
away,
просто
and
легчайше
there will not be a
уходит.
fight to be had. They're gonna try to babysit
Но
this relic
нужно
here to hope that the Riptail is not
забрать
picked up then by G2, but they gotta wait around a while for this one.
Хотел сейчас будут играть в Tower Defense. И между прочим, Капс в это время может спокойно сбивать пластины, так как Team Liquid вынуждены охранять Геральда, поэтому даже не забранный Геральд, даже не забранный глаз Геральда, он все равно делает свое дело и мешает нормальной макро-игре Team Liquid. Ну, как и сказали англоязычные кастеры, да, выгоду все равно G2 получили. С этой ротацией Team Liquid. Несмотря на то, что Импакт запустил ульту на бот и зачистил волну, и не позволил Капсу вовремя забрать тавер, это все равно, как видите, ни к чему не приводит. Капс получит первую вышку в full gold. Очень неплохо для Моргана.
Very early on into the game. It was often in the mid game when IG looked to play around Baron, where they looked to falter, and then they relied on their late game fighting. The core difference here is that every time TL has tried to match, they failed. They haven't been able to pick up any kills. They haven't been able to trade anywhere else on the map. And right now for Team Liquid, it feels like that they're losing.
Вундер очень много пластин разрушил. В очередной, который раз уже команды недооценивают отхил с мандаринки Ганпланка. Это не простая мандаринка, это волшебная мандаринка. Они отлечивают. Они лечат все. Рак, СПИД, туберкулез. Ганки 2-1 тоже лечат.
And you're going to have to create a lot of them because G2 have an overwhelming early game lead.
And it's what we saw from SKT yesterday when they went up against G2 in Game 4. SKT nearly pulled it back with their miracle plays. And now we get to see
Хотел отметить, что у Вундера еще есть снос, что я очень одобряю. Вообще мне нравится такой выбор рун. На Свейна, блин, аж захотелось опять на Свейне поиграть. Только я фармить нифига не умею на лайфхазе за него. А вот Вундер вполне себе умеет.
That is their bastion of hope. That is their point of defense right now. With the dragon spawning, I think it will be dangerous for them to even attempt to go out into neutral territory, and they should probably remain defensive at this time. They simply do not have the extra information to try and set up an offensive move.
9 пластин забрали от G2 против одной пластины Team Liquid. Разница по золоту огромная, влет Никитса прекрасный, Джонни успевает встать Дженсен, X-Mid забирает, Дженсен флешивается, но Перкс тоже добьет ее. О! Небольшая заминка от Перкса, флеш нужно было давать раньше, отдал он 1000 голды Дженсену. Импакта тоже поймали, флеша у него еще нету. Янкос не попал, но попал. Ну, пожалуй, конечно, не идет. Янкос, скажем так, дал комбу на опережение. Прекрасно, прекрасно играет G2. Янкос дал комбу на опережение уже в Кинча, который, ну, собирался глотать.
Just swept through Jensen, who's just barely able to get something back for Team Liquid.
G2 making a statement in game
Микикс
number 1 here.
прекрасный план.
Killer instinct
Вот что
alive
должен
in all
делать
of them. Going for the
саппорт
dive here.
таких
Mickey
персонажей,
does get
как
both of them,
Рахан.
locking
Вот
them up, so
как
they pick up the
должен
first
строить
kill.
свой
Here,
геймплей.
Jensen
Замечательно.
does get away, and with his shockwave, he trades back. The silver lining for Team Liquid getting that 1,000
Также, если у вас
gold bounty
Лисин,
shutdown that
можете
you
с
just
такого
saw,
угла
but then
заходить.
Impact caught in his own
Или
jungle here
Кен,
as Wondering
например.
Yanko turn on him.
Notice here how Yankos realizes Impact is already dead. He wants to get more targets, so he dives onto Core JJ. He focuses the support so that he cannot take Impact to safety, and with no flash, there was nowhere for Core JJ to go.
Ну да, как сказали кастеры, он зафокусил саппорта, чтобы не дать ему проглотить импакт. А даже если кто-то успел, все равно подбросило бы обоих. В общем, Янкос соображает. Очень быстро принимает правильные решения.
As we saw earlier, G2, their biggest early game lead we have seen so far at MSI, and they are far and away the better team in game 1.
Things are looking very good for G2 in this first game of the best of 5. Still a long series to go, but they still have to be able to close it out. And remember that Team Liquid, they found some very big comebacks up against Invictus Gaming by punishing the small mistakes. And while they are at a big deficit, if they can find a good Baron, if they can get another big shutdown on G2, then maybe they have windows back. Know that the Oriana already with the echo completed and the
Нет ни одного
You
готового
want to check the
предмета.
inventories for both stopwatches as well as QSSs at this point.
Конечно,
There's one of the
вышки всего
possible ways
две
to find a pick, of course,
упало,
is that
но
ultimate. You're gonna have to
по-хорошему
watch
это
out
может быть
for
вопрос,
Ronda
там, не знаю,
positioning
5
though.
минут. Там, за 5 минут может столько таверов полечь. Один выигранный файт.
It's probably difficult. Mid lane siege goes for yet another round, and it's Team Liquid backing off. A little bit away from there, but they will submit, and they will knock down one. Now here comes the engagement again. Mickey finding several charms. The dun comes in.
Корджей съел Смити, выплюнул его, но сам Корджей на уже не уйдет. Нет, неплохо, неплохо. Team Liquid действует. Отлично ульта от Джинсона, но урона просто не хватает. На такой стадии, с таким преимуществом по голде, здесь даже хорошо сыгранный файт. Не поможете выиграть драку, если противник, ну, то есть G2, если они не сделают серьезных ошибок. G2 не делают серьезных ошибок, все еще файт выиграет. Вышка не имеет значения. Дабллифт подумал, что он дуэлит Вундера, но Вундер показал ему, кто кого здесь дуэлит. Нет, Дабллифт. В этой игре шансы посиять тебе уже не дадут. Импакт, кстати, очень рано съел апельсин. Вундер тут подзонивает, подтанчивает. Микикс, между прочим, бочку уничтожил, не дал импакту закомбить. Из-за этого, кстати, Капс жив. Все еще.
So there's no opportunity for any follow-up there, and G2 steamroll ahead. They've opened the way into Team Liquid's base. Inhibitor turret destroyed.
Also great awareness from Caps at the very end of that
Господи, как же
replay.
много урона наносит
Вундер in the midst of all that chaos. Just to have that awareness in that moment meant that Team Liquid again could have found that once more shutdown, but G2 end up losing no one.
All right, all that's left now for G2 is a bit of control around the Baron buff. They've already opened up Team Liquid's base. If they get the Baron, that will be the power they need to finish it off.
And here's the beginning of it, inside Fog of War, and you can just look at Team Liquid's movements, how far back they are, how reserved they are. And they'll be giving this one away. Team Liquid, oh, the stopwatch is burned, that's capped without one resource. Now he is coming forward, have his flash, no blast code. It is unstealable, and G2 earned through the map control and team fighting a sub 21-minute Baron.
Видимо, в слоте, где стоит Лин Шадоус, обычно стоит Джони, поэтому машинально Капс сжёг секундомер.
1-0 and 12
Бэм,
and involved in
конечно. Конечно
13
же
of
Бэм.
the 14 kills. He has stepped up massively throughout this tournament, and he is carrying G2 through this game 1.
Definitely has been an exceptional snowball here from G2. Team Liquid, when they continue to look for those plays to try and fight back into the game, there has always been an answer at every turn from G2. It's resulted in a very one-sided game. Now with Baron buff, they are knocking at the doors.
Импакт есть телепорт. Если что, он придет, чтобы умереть вместе с командой. Ну а пока можно немножко собрать.
Now notice how G2 have split up across 2 lanes. They're not all funneling into one. They don't want to give Team Liquid that opportunity that they found against Invictus Gaming. The Ghosts are going to come out from Caps as he looks for a binding.
Смити поймали, но почему придет? Отличная волна от Джесса, но просто не хватает урона, некому поддержать влет Миккетса, Янкаса. Вундер там отзонил от Смити. Вундер просто 1-4 идет. Он еще сейчас взорвется, все, минус 2. Вундер помпанул, сдул драйв. Простите, но когда одна команда захватывает такой минус капс, капс случайно умер от вышки, может быть, мне кажется, капс он вообще полностью расслабился, у него есть чемпион такой, как плеймейкать особо не надо, там пушки попал, что там землю кинул, Миккетс с флеша играет по Дженсону, минус Дженсон, минус Смити, и это будет конец игры прямо сейчас. С прекрасным влетом Миккетса.
The bait and switch into the bait and switch. G2, they look like they wanted to try and finish it there with the respawns of double lift and impact. They do not want to overcommit. They're going to walk away with the kills, extending it to 18-2. They have a 13,000 gold lead, and they're going to be happy with that for now.
Надо срочно забрать воздушного дракона.
Let me remind you, this is the first game of a best of 5. Here's another snare though. Mickey, every time Jensen goes in with the shockwave and finds it, Mickey answers with the recon, finds the engage for G2. All they needed was a way inside the base to force the fight. And then Wonder, you can see, makes his way past Ed Smithy. This Swain at the center of the team fight, sectioning off all of Team Liquid's members there, finds the 2 kills, destroys the base, and the Baron buff is still active, so G2 can continue the push.
And it's the support staff of G2 in this game 1, Mickey and Jankos. I've been giving a lot of praise to Jankos, but you highlighted it there. Mickey on these Rakan engages have been setting up so many great fights and turning around a lot of potential fights that Team Liquid trying to start, and now you can see him on the potential flank, looking for another opportunity as G2 pushing towards the bot side of the map with only 8 seconds left on this map.
Well, that Baron has done plenty.
Слишком хорош.
3,000 gold lead through
Вундер
that buff.
слишком
His double
хорош.
inhibitors are down, and
У
this
него такой огромный
inhibitor
чемпион
will drop his
Футус,
turret
это
at the
талант.
very least. Team Liquid gonna back up, and I
Конечно,
find
у всех
is this
там
the engage?
талант,
Is gonna be
это
grabbed by
понятно.
4JJ. Here
Капса.
comes the dunk, and here's the engage by Wonder once again as they look for these kills.
Вундер уже, между прочим, в зоне себя оформил, может спокойно танчить. Ох, еще один взрыв ульты. И они будут давить. G2, давайте. Вы же будете давить. Я же знаю, вы хотите забрать этого скорпиончика. Смити не дает, Смити флеша. Нет, черт там решает G2. Давайте лучше каточку быстрее закончим и снова увидим.
The way in which they converted that early lead into such a powerful mid-game, it was just so one-sided. Team Liquid, it felt like that. Even though they tried to match, they tried so many times to be proactive and do what they did against Invictus Gaming, it just felt like the G2 read the play and shut them down.
Первую игру позавчера, где Team Liquid все-таки победили, я думаю, дало это огромный буст морали. Здесь же они первую игру проигрывают с таким разгромным счетом, с таким разгромным отставанием, что, надеюсь, это не будет 3-0.
That when the bot side started to fall for Team Liquid, they couldn't play through mid. Orianna trying to snowball against the Morgana just isn't realistic. So in that moment, Xmithy's like, well, I don't know. Can I try and get a gangplank ahead against the Swain? Can I try and get the bot lane? Maybe I can. But in the end, it felt like that they had no options. They had no way to come back. And they got shut down.
You talked a little bit about it after their group stage games, but drafting more agency in their lane matchups so that they can actually create action is going to be very big if they want the series to go a different way.
We'll see what happens. 2 kills given up, 2 turrets given up, and in G2's minds, 2 games to go. The Stay from Analyst Desk ready to give their thoughts on how Game 1 played out.
Сейчас посмотрим, что аналитики скажут.
Thank you very much, Freak. The hottest of starts here for the LEC representative in G2 Esports with an absolutely smashing victory over TL here in Game 1. We previewed the matchup, going lane by lane by lane to talk about how we expected the players themselves to match up against each other. I want to do the exact same thing with Champion Select here. Let's set the expectations for how these different lanes should have gone.
Right, so looking at top lane, Swain against GP. You're looking at GP getting pushed in under his turret. He can't really do a whole lot. He just tries to farm as much as he can, and he tries to survive if enemy jungler shows up. But he will lose on CS. But he has to scale. That's his job. Mid lane, you have the advantage for the Orianna. She will have priority in this lane. She can actually control the Morgana and push her down towards her side of the lane, but she's not running teleport, so she can't really leave the lane. And then bot lane, Varus Tahm-Kench, typically very controlled, can actually end up going, at worst case even, but also beat a lot of 2v2 lanes. Zyra Khan typically are waiting until Rakan can make aggressive plays. So if you look at it from G2's perspective, push top, no push mid, but TP, and that's important, and then make plays bot side with the Rakan.
That's the expectation. Let's take a look at how things actually played out.
And this is the reminder that Core JJ lost his flash in the level 1, and this is where everything goes sideways. Because what should have been an even lane is now a hard winning lane because of the playmaking ability of Mickey's Rakan.
And so much of this is just, you know, trying to recover. The minion wave after the first gank is in a bad position, so you have to go back down there. Okay, they're teleporting. We have to send multiple members of us. We're not ready to fight just yet. This was a scaling comp on the side of Team Liquid that wanted to fight at like level 11. This is at level 5 for solo laners.
Yeah.
This is just against everything that they wanted to achieve with the draft.
And TP that we mentioned just before here being very important. Caps didn't use his TP back to lane to try and catch up in farm. He saved it to keep going to the bottom lane because that's where we would get all the plays, and I think that's super important.
And I just have to reiterate this point. You look at a squad like G2, when all of their champions have so much playmaking ability, especially between that Jarvan and that Rakan, that's exactly what you want. For TL, the fact that their only playmaking ability was really on Skarner at that point until like Orianna has a shockwave, you need core JJ. TL rely so much more on their support to make plays for them than G2 rely on Mickey. If Mickey gets his Rakan, it's a heyday, but they don't need Mickey to play that.
But this entire early game for Xmithy was supposed to be, hey, I can farm for level 6. I can just play for vision early because my mid laner is gonna have control and my bot lane will have control. So on that side of the map, we're safe. It's just Impact who needs to survive. But he's been there in that situation many times. Even if he dies once or twice, it's not the end of the world as long as Xmithy can get to farm to 6. But he's not allowed to do that because Core JJ, and I've been on a team where a level 1 like that happens, ends up just wasting that flash early game that sets up easy gang spot.
For Core J, or rather for so many people, Core JJ was supposed to be the difference maker for Team Liquid, especially following that IG series. But in Game 1, it is his counterpart, Mickey X, who picks up MasterCard Player of the Game for the Rakan. A pick he's impressed on all tournament long.
Yeah, it certainly is. Mickey's had some really standout performances on this, and I love watching him play the champion. We already mentioned, you know, there are 5 people that can attack you on this G2 lineup, but when you're able to utilize something like Rakan to get the party started every single time in this early game, it was just really nice to watch.
And this draft was set up to be Rakan heaven for G2. They ban away Galio in the first phase so they can pick the Rakan line for Mickey. Then they look at the side of TL and they see 5 champions with no dashes, which means Rakan and his knock-up, it's almost guaranteed to hit every time.
Well, looking ahead towards Game 2, I think most Team Liquid fans can kind of rest on the fact that so much of this game did depend on that level 1, the crucial flash being forfeited by TL. Yes, and then G2 capitalizing on that. They have selected blue side here for this second game. For TL, though, don't want to see that Tahm-Kench again. What else do we want to see in Champions Select to maybe give them the leg up in the second game of the series?
I don't think any of this is a Champions Select issue. I agree that the Tahm-Kench didn't look great. I didn't really understand the job because there's no 1-3-1 they can go towards with an Orianna, and you can't really save everyone from Rakan. But I think that this is you have the pace of the game all wrong right now. You can't start what has been an early game tournament by picking scaling and even lanes when you know that Caps is just going to get busy in the early game. I want to see either them attack mid lane as soon as they come onto Summoner's Rift with something like a Jarvan or a Rek'Sai, or they match the teleport and they just follow Caps around. Now, they've shown step number 1 so many times this tournament. That's what I expect them to go back to.
All right, well, G2 have drawn first blood, but Team Liquid are looking to strike back when we return for Game 2. We'll see you here in just a bit.
Какая музычка.
The slowest, they're not going to find one, and they're burning down Core JJ. First blood for G2 in the final.
Means there's no fight opportunity.
Well, they find the ult on a perk, so good damage. Now the ult on top.
Конечно, та ульта Core похоронила потом. Ее не показывают. Не показывают.
Okay, they're both dead. Nice. Impact on the runaway, slowed down now by Cat. Finds it to come in. Shot by point of damage. No kill just yet. It's 2 for G2 and make it a third. Jordan's gonna drop, but no chip just yet. Very low, but not dead either. Impact TPing in, and now the backside. Here comes Demon Flare. Here's the engage by Wonder. Once again, as they look for these kills. A big charm to knock him in the back line. It's already 1 kill. Make it a second as the Team Liquid members are falling fast and furious.
Под конец от Дженсона была ульта Арианы в пол.
A great product can define the present, but it takes the unprecedented to define the future. To go beyond what's next and change the world of gaming. To make history, break ground, and force the universe to take notice. The world's most powerful and most upgradable gaming laptop with Intel Core processors, the Area 51M, defines the future of gaming.
Слушайте, а у G2 всегда на логотипе был этот глаз, проглядывающий из-под шлема. Мне кажется, его добавили недавно. MSI кресло. Мне, кстати, не очень зашел дизайн MSI. Этот коричнево-золотистый цвет, что ли. Не знаю, как его описать. Такой вот, где Follow the Teams, да, вот это все. Как и кубок вот в этих цветах представлен. Показывают две команды, которые уже не актуальны. Спасибо. Вообще здорово, что сошиалы добавили. Сейчас это... Привет, Михаил Поляк. Слава Украине, конечно же. Слава Янкасу. Михаил, как вам первая игра? Расскажите ваши впечатления. А, да, и баланс звука. Будьте добры, оценку баланса звука.
Welcome back to the Hooping Basketball Gymnasium stage for today's MSI Final. And it started with a bang. G2 Esports clapped Team Liquid in the first game. Their hard-fought series over SKT convinced everyone that they were definitely a premier team. And then you look at game one there, and they so far look heads and shoulders over the competition.
Yes, I concur. That game was 100% G2, 100% of the time, even before the minion spawn. So, I kind of already want to shift the lens towards game number 2. This is a best of 5 series, and adaptations must be made on the side of Team Liquid if they want it to look competitive.
So the thing they always have to be conscientious of is level 1 plays from G2. They didn't show that many in the group stages. This was an intentional plan in the same way that during the regular season they didn't do it. They brought all these crazy level 1 strats out against Origin in the semifinals and finals, and it caught Origin off guard multiple times. I feel like in this early game for game 1, they did the same thing for Team Liquid. So now Team Liquid have to turn their kind of reshape their focus, concentrate on setting up very early vision to track what G2 is up to. And honestly, I think they need to take Mickey off Rakan. This man can get very creative in the early levels, but also he was so instrumental alongside Jankos in setting up so many plays for the rest of G2 to run away with it.
Well, one of the big differences is blue side here for Team Liquid that very often frees up some bans. It also means that they could grab the Jarvan for themselves or force that ban, and that frees up some other options at the beginning of Champion Select. That's the trophy on the line for the North American or European champions, and Game 2's Champ Select has begun.
Очень громко комментатор.
Окей, is that they actually choose to ban away the rides when they're on blue side. In the same way that G2 did in Game 1, they cannot afford to give it. They cannot afford to give it up because their priority is on getting Jarvan or maybe even Rek'Sai in the first rotation to guarantee that strong jungle matchup for it.
Definitely aware how it all has started. Tarek is also going to be banned, mirrored again on the other side here.
Не, ну комментаторов должно быть слышно, потому что у меня такое комментирование, типа...
Interesting that Jace is still being banned from Team Liquid. It looks like that even though Impact actually played this a lot during the regular season of the LCS, they've just decided to completely move away from it and look to put priority elsewhere. With Sylas still up and available, this is something that TL could look to prioritize.
And Team Liquid have been pretty vocal about realizing what they need to take from this tournament to add to their own style to really make a new Team Liquid. And they want to still rely on those team fighting and those groupings towards the mid game. However, they also talked about wanting strong matchups that will allow and enable some early action from Xmithy.
Well, big Champion Select alert. Akali, Sylas, Jarvan, all available right now with the Jarvan ban. Rek'Sai becomes the only really premier jungler, but Akali and Sylas, of course, very important as well. And Team Liquid say, okay, Jensen, on the you go.
Между прочим, открыт.
I want to cast lines back to the first time these two teams met, gentlemen.
Lysandra?
I believe that is what Cap said after he found a solo kill onto Jensen with the Sylas up against his Akali. And Caps has demonstrated both sides of the matchup and his proficiency in them, whereas Jensen during the group stages struggled on both sides of them.
Seeing the lock-in, I am proud of Jensen and Team Liquid to be able to have the confidence to take this again, but I am also a bit cautious. A wee bit cautious. Now, some of those adaptations you're talking about Caps displaying may have, been some of the learnings and takeaways for Team Liquid. The Conqueror rune change.
Капс играл против Дженсона оба матчапа. Нет, подождите. Может быть, один раз против Дженсона. Что-то не помню. В общем, суть в том, что Капс играл на этом турнире из-за Акали, из-за Сайлоса против, соответственно, Сайлоса и Акали, да? И обоих сделал. Так что... Так что боюсь, все дело в руках. Сайлос не занервничал? Да его и не трогали в 9-9 и 9-10. Так что... Как бы занервничал. Но все равно силен. Сайлос, запомните, пока есть ульта Сайлоса, Сайлос всегда будет силен. Это аксиома. Этот персонаж не может быть слабым, имея такой ультимейт. Вообще никогда. Это супер-супер финал финалов? Да! Картофель, это финал MSI. Team Liquid победили Китай, предыдущих чемпионов мира, команду 3-1. А G2 вчера завалили СКТ 3-2. Все. Запад сильнее Востока.
And now we see G2 rounding out their final ban with the Lee Sin. So with junglers taken off the board, my expectations are that they'll actually look to try and grab their mid laner right now. Could be the Lissandra, could even be something... Oh, what am I talking about? Of course, let's go for that. The Silas has already been locked in. They'll grab themselves a support. The Thresh, I think, is something that Mickey has.
В 2018-м Корея очень сильно сдала на чемпионате мира. Все корейские команды, ну, последняя из них отлетела в четвертьфинале. Поэтому тут скорее должен быть вопрос, типа, без Китая? Без Invictus Gaming, которые групповую стадию 9-1 отыграли, а потом 1-3 в полуфинале отлетели.
What will Team Liquid answer with? They have to blind for
impact.
Will it be the cannon? That could bring up the Pyke solo lane. I thought it was so effective against the cannon.
Скарнера забанили. Я не знаю, почему Team Liquid не забрали Рексай. Это сейчас невероятно мощный пик. Обычно на Олафе и Янкеса можно увидеть.
Part of what helps G2 win that matchup is a lot of pressure and a lot of ganks from the mid lane and from the jungle going up there constantly. A great early aggressive. There it is.
Oh, Pyke top lane.
We expected at this point.
Wunder special.
We are no longer surprised by top lane Pyke from G2 Esports. This is their counter pick into ranged matchups, and it's a lot of pressure from jungle mid that turns it around. Xmithy now must stay ahead of Jankos, and Jensen must stay ahead of Caps to prevent that from happening.
Betty, you kept asking me about champion select points throughout yesterday, throughout this morning, and my number one response was, I really think Team Liquid are going to be banning Pyke. Because it is so scary, offers so much for the versatility of this team, but the gold sharing later on becomes a factor. The execution is such a big part when you combo with other possible sources of burst damage.
And the thing that I just have a fun story.
Там сейчас будет топ-лейн и мид-лейн Крамсалова. Как только шестой левел Пайк апнет, там начнутся роумы, там всякие пойдут кэтчи, потому что есть Рексай, ходячий вар.
We spoke about pick potential on the side of Team Liquid. There is so much mobility and poke potential, pick potential rather, on the side of this G2 squad as well. So much skirmishing power.
Что, теперь баланс звука нормальный стал?
All right, pressure is on for game 2 of this best of 5 final. Who would have thought it was North America versus Europe, but it is a
у меня вот когда, как у дабллифта, вот так вот волосы отрастают и лезут на глаза, мне прям некомфортно. Нет, все еще громко. Ты тут сказал, что я могу сделать вот так. И ничего не изменилось. Как это ничего не изменилось? Это не может быть, я же понижал.
at this pike. They saw game 1, they are feeling excited, and they're looking forward to seeing
Вот еще понизил. Должно измениться было.
For this lineup, adding caps, perks, the captain of the team willing to change lanes, and they still find success. Take a look at the invade though. Olaf always gives you priority with the axe spam. That combined with Braum is basically a win in a level 1 skirmish. So Team Liquid trying to take looks here, while on the top side of your map you see 2 members of Team Liquid trying to cover that pixel brush and disperse a little bit.
Team Liquid trying to match the early aggression that G2 demonstrated last.
Смити начал
But G2 actually showing a lot of
с
respect,
линзы.
staying in darkness.
Как знать, понял тебя. Тоже громко комментаторы, да? Все еще.
Yeah, recognizing the fact, Braum and Olaf on the enemy team with multiple other, Ash Volley as well is incredibly powerful as far as level 1. They know they have no place contesting it, so they don't get themselves into a dangerous spot. Let's go over the jugglers here. Olaf, people may not have seen him for quite a while.
Да.
Can easily
Уже нормально, понял.
AoE start here on the Raptor camp, as you can see with the talisman start, no problem.
Ну, Смити, тем более, если он сделает удачные ганки, он таким будет более-менее танковым до определенного этапа. Обратите внимание, что Капс взял Конкерер, как и Дженсен. Если говорить про Капса, это именно руна, которую он брал в матчапе против Акали. И еще, скорее всего, мы увидим в билде Капса после протобелта Леандри. Это те изменения, которые он делал, чтобы выигрывать Акали за Сайлос.
I just got a chance to catch up with G2's coach.
Типа, если 100% нигде 75, понял.
Team morale, obviously after game 1, he said it's the same as before. We're not getting overheated. We were confident, and we still are. And of course, asked him about the pike pick once again. I asked him, is this now just going to be the standard for you guys? He said, no, it's still very situational, and in this case, it just works out very well. Their AD carry has no dash, so it is a perfect pick. I asked him also what he found about TL's composition. He said, well, nothing to be surprised by. This is a typical Team Liquid composition, and if they don't get a lead early, they don't win the game. So he's feeling very confident.
Такой экшон на боте. Минус дабллифт. Это минус дабллифт, Янка сейчас будет флешать. А, нет, не хватает. Тогда это минус Корджей. И килл отдает. Нет, Янкас хотел отдать, но красный. Красный помешал. Ну вы видели вообще, как Микикс играет? Это что? Это бог на трэше. Видишь картофель? Никаких резидент слиперов. В какой теме Реклис? Ни в какой. Реклис... в смысле... Реклис во Фнатиках. Это стабильно Фнатик. Фнатик мэн. Ну, Капс отхилился и ушел из какой-то опасной зоны, где там как-то по нему с флешей, может, можно было доиграть. Все, и разошлись. О, дабллифт. Там, между прочим, дабллифт еще ему повезло, что он, да, от вышки выстрел не схватил. Там, я так понимаю, был один миньон последний, в который этот хит летел. Это было почти идеально, вот Микиксом разыграно, вот почти. На 3 на 4.
Yep, 1 kill for Jensen on the Akali, 1 kill for Silas on the one for G2.
And it is Caps that ends up picking that one up in the mid lane, but in that situation, TL knew, or expected rather, this play to come out.
У Вундера небольшие проблемы с фармом, но это не страшно. Пайк вообще не об этом. Чемпион.
In the early game, he's very squishy, so they were able to come out on top. What they weren't expecting was the arrival of perks, and that extra member, that extra bit of damage, enabled G2 to turn it into.
Ну и сейчас Вундер купит Тиамат, и полегче должно стать.
Staying underground, so he does get the pings to see that Smithy and CoreJJ are arriving.
Капс пытался угадать, где Дженсен, но вообще не туда цепь полетела.
But on the same token, yes, the Rek'Sai doesn't have a flash because he went bottom side and killed the Braum, taking the Braum's flash as well. So CoreJJ also no way out of the fight, and mid laners both get kills.
And notice how Mickey did not use his lantern to actually try and save Jankos.
Вундер, кстати, не бэкался. Ну там, видимо, Тиамата еще нету на базе, поэтому бэкаться нет смысла.
Rather than try and save him, let's redeem this situation. So I'd much rather have more damage than try and save a lost ball.
And that's going to be over the wall for Jankos. G2 knowing all about redemption.
Легчайший выход для Янкоса. Легчайший выход для Феркса. Брум Клин, Стрэш Экзост, Резидент Слипер. Сейчас Вундер бэкнется, возьмет себе Тиамат, скажет Янкосу, что ну мы готовы, и начнется.
You can see that Team Liquid actually slightly more gold still. A lot of it is focused on that Kennen matchup though.
And what's interesting here is that yesterday when we saw
Не видел, кстати, никогда рекол Пайка в этом скине.
Kennen, it was actually surprisingly even. And I think a part of that was Khan wasn't familiar or used to the matchup with the Kennen into Pyke. Here we're seeing a lot more confident play from the side of Impact. Not only does that show his confidence on the
Комментаторы говорят, что есть вероятность, что Кан, это топпер СКТ, против которого вчера Вундер тоже на Пайке играл, вот, а Кан был на Кеннене. Вот, мол, есть вероятность, что Кан не знаком с этим матчапом. А вот по мнению комментаторов, Импакт почему-то знаком. Ну или скорее Кеннен для Импакта более комфортный пик. Поэтому он лучше на нем показывает результаты и побеждает лайн по фарму. Капс с Дженсеном сталкиваются. Вообще Капс, я думаю, мог бы убить Дженсена. Хотя там второй дэш ульты, там какой кулдаун, 1,5 что ли секунды. Наверное, не смогу под тайвером забрать. Но Капс вот в этих матчапах, да, Акали Сайлоса, он очень-очень опытный, как я уже говорил. Он выигрывал обе стороны этого матчапа вот на этом турнире, и я что-то вот не верю в Джонсона 1 на 1. Вот, пошло, я же сказал. Пошел напряг на топ-лейн. Можно еще зароумить мид, но там Акали с тучей, то есть там будет сложновато поймать ее. Как же тут давят, они просто делают. Xmity просто не знает, что делать. Буду прикрывать лайны, все, мне больше нечего делать.
Won't find himself a slow just yet, and now we have Caps recalling on a ward. That could be face checked though by Jensen, and now a fight in top side as they trade stuns here, and the Pyke.
Мне кажется, это была защитная ульта от Импакта.
And a health advantage to keep in mind there is now Jankos with flash, could look for the play. The Wonder's going to heal up and knock down the wave.
The E from Impact just came back up, so Wonder and Jankos could not look for the play. Impact saw an opportunity to try and at least release some pressure towards the top side, maybe find a kill. Unfortunately, does not convert into anything for him. But in terms of how the early game is going,
но мне кажется ли, после того, как Смити промазал топором, Янка смог, в принципе, оллинить.
And I think one of the big reasons for that is we already talked about how Silas into the Akali is typically Silas
Или там Акали бы успел подойти.
Unless you kind of take this pivot in terms of itemization, but also Pyke becomes so difficult to deal with in the late game because of how much mobility he has and how easy it is for him to find picks onto squishy targets like the Ashe.
Yeah, the Ashe is going to have a lot of things to dodge here. Double F going to rely on the flash because there is a Varus ultimate, Mickey on the Thresh, a diving combination.
Обратите внимание, что Вундер почти полностью камбэкнулся по фарму. Теперь, скорее всего, так и будет, потому что Тиамат есть. Ну и кушка уже много вкачана. Левелов. Вот он пошел. Ровно ботлейн от Вундера, здесь еще Янкас. Вот Янкасу бы... Не, рановато, конечно. А с другой стороны, он просто зачистил вижен, ушел. Покажите, где Вундер. Он уже в кусте или он бэкается на лайн? Там пластины уже горят на топе. А, вот он где. Он решил на мидлейн заскочить. Это минус Дженсен. Нет. Никогда не забуду хайлайт, где доводит умирать 1-1 цветку Зайры. Я не помню такого. Или не знаю, наверное. Ну, Коджи потратил клинс, вышел. Мне кажется, можно было и не тратить. Он и так бы вышел. С другой стороны, хп сохранил. Вообще, на удивление, пока бескровная карта. 1-2 всего лишь. G2 пытаются найти пики, но Team Liquid достаточно качественно, успешно не дают больше киллов. И это позитивный момент для них, но идет 4 в 2 дайв. И все. Не знаю, что сюда пришел Дженсен. Не знаю зачем. А, с импактом неплохо. Минус капс. Да ладно. Импакт красавчик. Просто ракетами забил бедных G2. Минус Дженсен, сколько нет лука. Ну отлично, отлично. На лимитах сыграно. Скиллуха пошла. Микикс использовал секундомер, чтобы убрать себе тавер агро. Контроля просто чуть-чуть не хватило. И Дженсен отлично отфлешил хук Микикса. And get the last kill with this proto belt. Also, coming in trying to defend Caps means that Impact will get the stun and get a second. This is what Papa Smithy would call tactical inting. Смотрите, Team Liquid прекрасно ответили. Сейчас забирают Герольда 100%. В теории можно даже попробовать его сейчас куда-то выпустить, прям сразу на топ, но нет, они уже не будут. Слишком мало времени, то есть пластины они уже плутать не успеют. Да и какого-то безопасного там выпуска Герольда нет. Там просто Рекса или Трэш собьют. Так что этот Геральт, он будет как в старые добрые времена. Просто такой Геральт, который, может быть, заберет тавер. То есть он уже не такой импактящий будет. Что плюс для G2. Смотрите, какой вижен просто. Бам-бам. 4 варда. Нам показывают карту со стороны Team Liquid, да, то есть вообще никого не видно. Где Вундер, где Рексай, ничего не понятно. Вундер здесь, Вундер на мидлейне. Он может быть где угодно. Это такое давление пассивное, мощное. Наконец-то можно чуть спокойно вздохнуть. Убийца пришел на ботлейн. Вообще это успех для Team Liquid, потому что Wunder играл на пайке 2 раза на топе. И где-то в первый раз в минуте на 10-й он был 2-3-2. Ну там его сильно заганкали, но все равно, то есть там были киллы, да, были ассисты. Вчера в финальной 5-й карте против СКТ Wunder был 5-0. Прекрасный флэш-стан. Хватит ли этого? Да. О, импакт прекрасно задолжил, но он задолжил как бы в Янкас и все равно. Так вот, Wunder бегал 5-0 в минуте на 12 вчера, а здесь у него на 15-й 0 киллов, 0 ассистов, сейчас только первый. Так что это определенный успех. Да и вообще Team Liquid доведут по золоту, сейчас они этот тайвер заберут и вырвутся вперед. Равная игра, и Wunder просто загулял.
It's a great situation for Team Liquid to find themselves in right now. Even though they lost Impact, Akali gets himself another kill, and they're able to secure a top.
Кто первую закерил? Так. Янкас на Джарване заганкал абсолютно все лайны, разогнал дичайший ботлейн, а в мидгейме Микикс на Ракане просто каждый энгейдж там подкидывание, очарование там почти всех противников и уничтожение в тимфайте. Сначала лесник, потом сап. Ну а керри они просто дамажат, потому что им все перед ними стоят противники, которые стоят на месте или подкинуты в воздух, ты просто стоишь, дамаж, все. Те все сделали. Кучу урона выдавал топпер. Wunder, он был на Свейне. Он каждый файт стабильно топ-1 по дэмэджу был. Там у него было 1700 урон, 2000, 2700. Так что в плане урона там Свейн. Но в плане плеймейкера Кан. Прикольный флэш от Микикса. Ответная стрела от дабллифта. Ну, в G2 так преимущество по ХП.
Also a bit of luck there for doublelift because Wunder was not close enough to land that execute. It came out a little bit delayed, which means doublelift had time to flash out of that situation, but that could have been his death.
Сейчас, короче, стандартная тема будет. Либо какая-то из команд ошибется, либо они довольно долго будут пытаться убить мидлейн тайверов друг у друга. И будет такое состояние равное. Посмотрим.
Save perks without the need of any summoners.
And look at the two side lanes right now. You can see that Caps has actually pushed in towards the top side and was going up against Impact. Impact kind of postured for a potential 1 versus 1. Decided not to go for it because of the positioning of the wave. But as an answer to losing pressure on one side lane, they've gained it in the other. Jensen knows that he can win the 1v1 against Wunder, so they've kept him in this side lane to match up against the Pike. And Wunder is forced to play on the defensive. He can't look for as many roams as he was doing prior.
В чем предназначение Олафа? А черт его знает. Убить Бёркса.
Knocking on some of these wards here and trying to get some of this control back. Game 2 a lot closer than game 1. It was nearly over at this point in the first one. Good to see some signs of life for the North American squad.
Yeah, and there's so many ways that these team fights can look. Because of the versatility of these champions.
Я не очень внимательно смотрел драфт, не видел, каких лесников там забанили. Ну, там точно был бан Скарнера, наверное, от Жарвана тоже. Нет, там был Скарнер Лисин, по-моему, бан, да, во второй стадии. Возможно, Jarvan был со стороны ТЛ забанен. Видимо, больше не осталось лесников. Гендер пишет: попасть в достойном бою и попасть в Вальгалу, очевидно же. Перкс. Многовато дэмэджа поймал. Импакта прекрасно просто откинули, ульта в молоко. Дженсен, кстати, неплохо так потенциально сбоку там заходил. Ну, вот как я и говорил, происходит стояние, но G2 так-то Тавер нормально пробили. То есть следующая такая стычка, и Тавер пойдет.
Impact also burned a flash. That was a cooldown lead to G2 as we look in the aftermath of that fight. Turret stays alive, and they both go back to clearing their camps here. Waiting as stopwatches come in, and the beginning of Azonia's hourglass here for Impact.
Зачем Кен вообще ультит, когда его выкинули так? Так это же стандартная тема. Ты нажал кнопку, когда тебя еще не выкинули, потом тебя выкинули, и пошла анимация уже ульты, и все. Ну, это же одновременно происходящее событие. Как ты среагируешь, если тебя через там долю секунды откидывает после того, как ты кнопку нажал? Что поделать? Капс своровал ульту дабллифта, сразу ее кинул тупо, чтобы выключить одного чувака, чтобы можно было тавер забрать. Иксмити сбоку заходит, вместе с Дженсеном, кстати. Ой, это плохой файт для G2. Мне кажется, они его проиграют в Фламино. Хотя есть флеши. Они не убьют Дженсона, тут просто урон не хватит. Черт. Черт! G2 развернули, я не знаю, G2 развернули Господи, как это глупо. Дабллифт, который такой, ну они там сами дочезят, там G2 отступит, все понятно, пойду тавер бить. О, обратите внимание, Вундер уже в который раз, вот, это прям его криптонит, он ультит в Кеннона. Я не говорю про эту игру, я говорю про вообще. Он ультит Кеннона, который встает в Джоне. Я это видел вчера, я это видел в первый раз, это всегда. И после этого, и после того, как Капс, о господи, Капс, Дженсен и Смити зашли сбоку, я думал, что это конец для G2. Потому что без ульты Пайка будет сложновато все эти цели добить. Но 7 ликвид. Жесткая ошибка. Тут либо дабллифт идет прикрывать, либо все идут на мидлейн, да? То есть они погнали за двумя зайцами, в результате все умерли. В результате зайцы их загрызли. Не, он целенаправленно ультанул после этого. Обрати внимание, если реплей будет. Хорошо, но, наверное, не будет уже. Ну, я поверю тебе. Хотя мне показалось, что это одновременно было. У Капса есть 2 дэша. Его, в принципе, не поймать. Но он даже не думает убегать, он как бы думает взять и убить Дженсона. Не знаю, эти стоп-вотчи, эти жони в ульту Вундера. Бедняга. Никак не получается.
And look at this, a 2,000 gold lead. Baron of formality. Team Liquid will only knock down an outer turret. G2
Team Liquid в ответ забирают Т1, хоть что-то. Кор GG жертвует собой. Капс прекрасен, как бы. Смотрите, человек, он в половине игр, если не больше, бегает типа 8, там 1 и унижает всю карту. Вчера против СКТ он пентакилл сделал на Акале, допустим, да. Сегодня вот, пожалуйста, вам показали только что урон, который это best midlaner in the world.
Notice how quickly Cap steals away the Akali ultimate, but also notice that Jensen doesn't have his ulti as well. So the moment that the TP comes in, Team Liquid realize they have to disengage. If they can get the cannon in, maybe they can turn it around, but it's already a 3 versus 2.
Так, сейчас я отойду на минуту.
On the way to the top side, and G2 now wearing the Baron buff will siege on mid lane. Next wave is going to be a tremendous amount of damage. Bottom side is held by Wonder with his own Baron buff taking down the secondary turret.
And an AP Braum ult is pretty decent damage. Double have dropped about 2/3, regenerating up now. This mid turret going to be taking a lot of damage now as well, and Team Liquid unable to defend that one. As now the arrow comes in, barely dodged away by Jensen. That could have been a kill picked up as the Shroud was already down. Team Liquid maybe look to re-engage. Rek'Sai is in the bottom lane, but they're going to find a hook from Wonder as well, and TL cannot find any such engage.
So G2 just playing on 2 lanes right now. They've secured both the tier 2s in bot and mid. And a lot of ultimates are still available on both sides. TL, they don't want to take the gamble right now. They're just trying to wave clear, just trying to buy time and wait for that small mistake to come out from G2 that they can then try to capitalize on.
Predator burn for Smithy doesn't do much of anything as the mid lane clear is now the objective for Team Liquid, trying to weather this 90 seconds of Baron buff remaining. Still 3 waves to go on each of these lanes though, and G2 could absolutely, they play their cards right, knock down an inhibitor turret. Gold lead 5,500. They've got more to do.
Look at how quickly Wonder moves between the 2 lanes, going from bot to mid, utilizing the camouflage from his W and the mobility boots helps change the numbers so that G2 always have the threat of a 5-man in the event that TL tried to fight.
Another attempt right now is pretty good damage comes out of Caps, but able to walk away, not getting caught just yet. Waiting
Два горных, да?
be an engage out of TL. The turret chunk lower and lower. 2 more cannon shots will knock it down. And right now looking to the bottom side, a nice stun, and Wonder kites away. Now is this the attempt for impact? They find a slow. They find almost the stun, and Yanko's gonna bring the stopwatch. This could be the team fight.
Капс вошел на ульте. Ох, прекрасно.
And it is just that, slicing up Team Liquid, and suddenly it's 1 versus the world.
Вундер опять не убил ультой, но это не важно.
G2 looking at a sub 30-minute win, and they are a single game away from your first ever MSI trophy. G2, the kings of Europe, about to be the kings of the world.
Это очень странный MSI, потому что Team Liquid, которые победили чемпионов мира 3-1, и это выглядело очень легко. Я говорю, это была очень странная серия. У меня было ощущение, что вместо Invictus Gaming играют вообще какие-то абсолютно другие люди. Такое ощущение, как будто меня обманывают. Это была какая-то аномалия, которая происходит, я не знаю, 1 раз в жизни, наверное. И вот Северная Америка в финале. Вчера, как я и предполагал, для G2 СКТ супер потная серия для G2, но я в них верил. И G2 победили. Ну и сейчас это просто легчайшее для G2. Видите, они вообще не потеют. Потому что они должны были сейчас против Invictus Gaming играть. Это должна была быть супер потная BO5 серия. Но Team Liquid каким-то образом победили. И теперь это будет 3-0. Легчайше. Ну, это очень странно. 3-2-2. Да не похоже.
Ability to kite back from
Не
Rek'Sai.
верю.
So I was certainly concerned with Rek'Sai later on in the game and trying to find any skirmishes.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I did like in this teal draft that there was more ability to start fights, right? You know, when you looked at game number 1, it was so much about scaling, so much about sitting back. In this game, they had the ability to start fights with the Ash Arrow.
Xmity был бесполезен, да?
Proactive for Jensen, impact and start fights with these flanks on Kennen. And at the end of the day, I think they had the
Ну,
tools.
именно
G2 was
в
just
плане
better at the
пика.
critical moments.
Ничего не делал.
I think that showed as the game went on. However, what I do find positive about Team Liquid is in the early parts of the game, they kind of rolled over and died in game one. This time around, I feel like they did want to put more emphasis in starting to turn around
Team
the
Liquid
fights
нормально
and not
оборонялись.
just go quietly into the night, which is a positive. But as you said, unfortunately, G2 just had so many good counters.
And I have to give so much credit, I think, honestly, to Mickey X, forcing out the flash and the summoners from the bottom lane prior to this play, then starts off the dive with a hook on Doublelift, making it very easy. But this counterpunch was critical for TL.
Комментатор говорит, что отдает уважение Мификсу, который выбил флэш до этого и подготовил вот этот дайв на бот.
And you immediately see how this game is going to play out, and I think immediately you also see Impact has the capability to do that time and time again.
Но дайв-то был так себе.
Akali's getting pretty fed. It looked good. So where did it go wrong for TL?
I think, you know, there were some small moments where they did kind of fall short. We saw, you know, a number of times, not perfect coordination, Wonder actually slinking away with very little HP. I think getting a little bit too excited in some of these fights. Fight around mid lane where we had Wonder and Perks being able to actually slink away and set up a trap for Jensen, while the rest of the mid lane was actually, you know, pushing.
Вот он файт, смотрите, Вундер промахивается, все, Смити заходит, отлично, правда, он что-то Мификс начал фокусить, ну ладно. И здесь смотрим, что у нас происходит. Дабл лифт и Корд GG, все, они переключились на крипов, а Дженсен с Смити идут 3 в 2. Без ультимейта. Что это? Это была мискоммуникация, которая уничтожила шансы Team Liquid в этой игре. Один файт просто вот этот, который они выиграли, и можно было бы, если бы они сделали все правильно, наращивать преимущество, получить, может быть, контроль над картой, вышку Т1 на миде они бы уничтожили, если бы все вчетвером пошли. Но нет. Что это было? Что это за коммуникация? Бля, как можно любить Капса, а? Он прекрасно играет, и внешне он такой вечно такой мило улыбающийся паренек. Это же прекрасно, сама харизма. Как можно не любить эту улыбку? Как поправить?
I do think, though, TL, at times it felt like perhaps they're a little bit shaken. They're feeling like they need
Сейчас, короче, G2 побеждают следующую, и все. Мы с вами, господа, играем на самом сильном сервере в мире, в Европе.
That Silas before G2 comes through, and G2 is always going to punish you for those mistakes because they are so quick to move around the map.
Всем внутривенный баф. ХЗ мерзенькое хлебало, фу, какой-то токсичный, аж вообще так противно написал. Прям максимально. Не знаю, просто не твой тип.
Dominating just like support to support, and a lot of the plays he's making come doing is lanterns have just been really clutch in a lot of these moments, but Caps has just been the most consistent force in the tournament, and his Sylas, if we're just talking about best Sylas right now in the world, him and Faker immediately come to mind.
Do they pull this back?
At the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I think it's still possible, but
вообще,
you're
это же
playing to be the
Европа.
best team in the world. You don't get to make
У них у всех
mistakes
так
at
себе
this level and
лица.
expect it. And so far, G2 has shown us better games, and rightfully so. They're at match point.
They are at match point indeed. G2 having a fantastic time on the Rift so far, and so are the fans here in the arena. Of course, throughout MSI 2019, MasterCard has been highlighting the best fans in esports, and today is no exception. Holly and Jonathan, they're getting married next year, and they decided to come to MSI Pay for a pre-wedding celebration. As MasterCard fans of the day, they also received Star Guardian minifigurines as well as Teemo hats. They also got a shot to hoist the MSI trophy. They got a fantastic backstage tour, as you can see there. Team Liquid fans, unfortunately, that might not be an early marriage present for them, but we'll see.
Счастливые люди
We'll be
женятся.
right back. We'll take a quick
Им
break
подарили
and we'll
шапки
see which
Тима.
team wins out, or if TL can bring us back in this series.
Так, смотрим, кстати. Сейчас, может, покажут ульту Кеннона на мидлейне.
Oh, two, red. I got it. I got this auto. Nice. He very quickly comes back.
It's a flash for the first stun. Playing an image was impact. Now trying to stay alive with slicing Maelstrom. But here comes the rest of it. 3v3 now in this fight as the channel comes in. Look for the pull. G2 get killed.
Вот сейчас, может, покажет. А, нет, это уже, нет, это они скипнули. Ну, Капс жестче зашел. Но там очень просто. У тебя есть дэш небольшой сайлосовский, у тебя есть флэш, все. Бам, 3 человека в ульте Кеннона. Этот чувак похож немножко на Питера Джексона. А вот это какой-то актер, но я не помню. Какой. Такой, типа, второго эшелона.
Sounds like you've got this.
Yeah, definitely.
Get a discount up to 30% with Drive Safe and Save from State Farm.
Так, отойду пока.
Welcome back to the mid-season invitational final, where G2 are just one win away from taking the title for Europe. Players ready to go. You see them in their room taking last lessons and opportunities from the coaching staff. Team Liquid doing the same. This must be a reverse sweep for TL to win. Thankfully for them, they've been there before. That was how they won the LCS title and got here in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, for Team Liquid, I feel like...
Что, я услышал слово reverse sweep.
They showcased in the second game that they could have a much stronger early game. It was just that single
Смешная шутка.
indecision that resulted in G2 snowballing from that point.
Так, сейчас я буду обедать, приятного мне аппетита, поэтому слушайте прекрасных англоязычных кастеров.
But we need to see them playing through Jensen. We need to see them better enabling their mid laner and preventing Caps from having so much control around the map.
Yeah, I think we need to see a little bit more of the attack look that we saw from Team Liquid versus IG when they took down the reigning world champions, versus even G2 in the last day of group stages. A lot of it was them attacking mid lane opponents. Caps, I'm glad you bring him up. He has been huge for G2, specifically in this matchup versus Team Liquid. But there are also other threats. Mickey, I thought, not only was he good offensively, finding that first blood for G2 on the bottom side, but defensively as well on the Thresh. I mean, this guy has gone through so much this year, working through injuries, coming out onto the international stage and performing so well. It's got to be a good feeling.
I mean, it has to be, because for G2, the whole goal with this roster was to try and get the best player from each position in Europe to make this star-studded European roster. And it was Perks' suggestion that he moves into the bot lane, he brings in Caps, and they perform. They have what is considered to be the strongest roster. And many people doubted, many people were worried in Europe that it wouldn't be able to perform, that it wouldn't be able to compete. But they had an extremely dominant split. They dominated the finals. And now after taking down SKT, they're one game away from securing their first international championship.
They didn't just dominate the regional final, they set a record for fastest best of 5 in EULCS or now LEC history. They slaughtered Origin 3-0. They're on pace here for the fastest international best of 5 if they can win in under 33 minutes and 10 seconds. This is a record-setting team. They are turning all of the heads. Not only are they smashing compared to European standards, but they're smashing compared to world standards. This, again, be the first European title since 2011.
And remember, this team already at Worlds, before they even picked up Caps last year, were one of the biggest upsets over RNG. Such a huge accomplishment. And then making changes to become even better. Certainly, this is the EU super team.
Yeah, and it only gets more exciting from here. We'll see if Team Liquid can mount the comeback. It is definitely a difficult mountain to climb, but again, you remind people of the finals. When TSM were 2-0 up, it looked over. It looked bleak, yet somehow Team Liquid found that ability to punish. They found those small mistakes, and they clawed their way back into the series.
And for Team Liquid fans, who I know will still stand behind Team Liquid and continue to grow their support, I would even just remind you of the series versus IG. This team looks so good versus Invictus Gaming, not dropping so many of these mistakes, looking for the offensive plays, attacking Rookie. They can definitely still turn it around here. They need to remain poised on stage and use the veterans that they have at their disposal. These players have been in this situation before.
And it's funny because you talk about being in the situation before, some of them in a way almost haven't, where you had Doublelift tell Jensen, I will get you that LCS title, and Jensen told Doublelift, I will get you out of groups, and here they are doing what many thought impossible for North America, not only making it to the finals of MSI yet again, but having a shot at winning it. That hope is still there for these players. They can make the reverse sweep happen. Of course, G2 in the driver's seat. We go back to the blue side like game 1, and they repeat their bans from that game.
Yeah, it looks like things are going to remain the same for the side of G2. Both Galio and Tarek taken off the board. Priority is likely going to be the Jarvan once again. The question is, how will Team Liquid pivot? Will they continue to take the Rakan off the board? Will Sylas be the priority? Will Jarvan be taken away? It's difficult now for Team Liquid, and they're just going to have to go up against something or one of these strong options.
Well, it's Akali and Sylas off the table, not really willing to trade a jungler for a solo lane pick, and it will be Jarvan taken away.
Удивительно, конечно, что продолжает баниться связка Тарика Сона. Я так понимаю, в скримах она показывает настолько мощный результат, что ее вынуждены банить. В то время как в профессиональных играх, вот в этом турнире, она проваливается, по-моему, каждый раз проваливалась эта связка. Но типа в скримах она настолько сильна, что нужно банить.
Wow, and it looks like G2 immediately going to go for the Zyra Rakan. They actually don't care what they're going up against, because with the Galio gone, they're thinking, well, to be honest, you've got nothing that can handle us. Now, there is one option of Team Liquid going for the Morgana right now, or they would likely go for the Brock. Alistar's actually going to be the priority.
And even a Syndra in the mid lane. I look for counters in other lanes, not just in the lane with Rakan. Something I thought was going to come through last time around is some burst damage to try and take advantage of the weaknesses of Rakan. And sometimes we will see champions like that towards the mid lane actually focus on killing him on the engages, but not so far. If we get the LeBlanc ban, that actually opens up even more possibilities for Team Liquid to get that Syndra.
I actually really like this draft so far from Team Liquid. It feels like a very Team Liquid draft, already catered towards team fighting. A little bit of scaling towards the bot side of the map, but Kai'Sa can typically still provide a lot of value. You have this very solid front line with the Sejuani and the Alistar also acting as an engage, and now they can round their draft out with mages in the mid lane, as you were already talking about, Kobe, and they can save that for the final pick as well. So to me, it feels like Team Liquid in this game 3 are just kind of returning to comfort.
It looks like they're saying, we want to play 33-minute team fights here. They remove a team fight mage from Caps, saying, no Azir, you can't outscale us in the mid lane. We get first dibs. I want to see if it's Syndra or Lissandra for more engage, or they index even more onto Doublelift being all the damage output. They've already got Alistar and Sejuani as setup. We'll see what comes through. Vladimir also on the table. A lot of premier team fighters that Team Liquid love to play are on the table.
The only concern for Team Liquid is, are they overstacking on AP damage? There is a lot coming through on the side. I mean, you've got to remember, Kai'Sa, while being an AD carry, can still dish out a lot of it. So the question is, what direction do they go? Blind pick Lissandra with a lot of these options taken off the board. Team Liquid feeling confident in this pick.
Yeah, the Syndra coming in knows it is good against Rakan. Kobe was talking about that one. Now G2 say, you know, Vladimir's really likely on-hit Nico's supposed to be a good matchup into that one.
Ooh.
What is it going to be? Will it be spicy? Yasuo could be very good in the Syndra. Aurelia has been left up as well, and that could be an incredibly decisive champion. First, they take the Nico. They expect the Vladimir, I think, and again, that is a good matchup in the top side.
Yeah, it could be on hit. Could even still be AP. Definitely still flexible here. We'll see what the second pick from G2 is going to be to round it out. Currently, they have a lot of speed for their engage, not a lot of tankiness, so it has to be execution-based.
Interesting that they're hovering the pike right now. I expect the Aurelia to come through, yep. I think this will go in the hands of Caps in the mid lane. I'm expecting them to utilize the high mobility and the level 6 all-in potential that Aurelia does provide to not only provide more AD damage to this squad, but also to be one of the main damage dealers moving forward with the comp.
Yeah, no surprise here. A big strategy against Syndra, trying to attack the mid lane champion early and often with roams from your jungler and your support. Jarvan and Rakan will try and assist Aurelia in getting kills onto that Syndra early on.
Пипец тому TL. Мощный тимфайт. Драфт.
Game of MSI 2019, and if it is, it's G2 winning 3-0 over Team Liquid. Must be a reverse sweep for it to go to North America's side. More team fight. Team Liquid going back and back to the most comfortable style of competition it could possibly be. It is team fight and late game 5-on-5. G2 have Caps on Aurelia, champion he helped make his name on.
The biggest thing that TL have to be cautious of is the early game from the side of G2 Esports. Even though it is harder to play towards the bot side of the map up against an Alistar, do not be surprised. Level 4 to see Mickey going back to base, roaming mid, grouping up with Jankos, and then trying to find a kill onto Jensen in the mid lane.
Exactly. I expect a lot of effort to be put towards wards around the river, and the river leading towards mid lane.
One final shot of the trophy. Only one of these teams will get the honor of hoisting it. And odds look pretty heavily that it's going to be G2 Esports from Europe, the 5-time LEC champions.
Где аналитик по пику меня весь драфт пропустил? Да я обедаю. Обедаю я. Из-за того, что ты не комментил. Ну а чего там? Team Liquid взяли супер комфортные пики, мощную тимфайт композицию, скейл, Кайса, Владимир. У G2 такой драфт на early game, да, на захват преимущества в early game и завершение карты мидгейм. Все. Вундер. Так, это что у него Глашел, да? Это АП Ника, что ли? Да? Если у нас Глашел, это, по-моему, АП Ника. А не он хит Ника. Да, по-моему, это АП Ника будет. Ща я почти даю. Опа, Смети вынужден сейчас будет флэш тратить. Давай. Вообще флэш на флэш. 2 танка, покчамп, ну да.
The fact that he learned Blooming Burst at all, plus the Keystone choice for Wonder, means it is going to be a Miku, as you called it out, not the Witsend Ruin King rush for on-hit damage. It will be a lot of magic damage, gigantic teamfight ultimates, and Wonder can definitely counter-engage what TL tries to do.
Also see Doublelift and Core JJ once again not assisting their jungler, so they should be able to get priority on the lane, and they're already going to start the push off. Very valuable against Desire Rakan, and I do often like the Alistair into the Rakan pick, because every time the Rakan tries to go in, he's immediately going to get CC'd, and it's something you always have to show respect against, which means that this duo of Mickey and Perks can't be as aggressive as they would like.
Looking at a stun right now, Core JJ can find a little bit of damage. Now the Flagger Dragon's going to find the first knock-up. Ignite is on a Doublelift, and he has to flash away while still level 1. A good start for G2.
Here's me saying they can't look to play aggressively. Well, you know what? You can if your jungler shows up at level 2.
Level 2 Jarvan gank off of red buff here from Jankos is able to get the heal first out of Doublelift, plus still landing the damage of the EQ there, and then also getting flash. That is 2 summoner spells, once again, blown on the bottom side of the map very early on.
Incredible start now. G2 Esports have found a lot of success through Jankos' early ganks. He might be seen coming through. Nice stun right there, comes out of Caps, but will not take that trade as Electric Group pops onto him. Sejuani right behind as well, so that is not a fight to be had. Now top scuttle is the battle, level 2.
Ну что, сейчас Янкс опять всю карту заганкает. Xmith просадили в ХП, он не бэкался. Вроде бы, да? И все. Янкс такой зашел на бот, выбил самонерки, разрядил там обстановочку, шел крабиков, забрал 2. Пока все прекрасно вообще для Янкс.
Only taking small camps so far after that red buff. Jensen spotted out, now a re-engage on the bottom side. Doublelift still level 1, unable to dodge that kind of engage.
Mickey and Perks continuing to play on the offensive. Remember that they do have the summoner spell advantage. Doublelift still only level 1, as you talked about, Freakin'. This duo has really struggled throughout this series. So much focus has been put onto trying to shut down Doublelift and Core JJ, but now they might finally be able to find something better.
A flashless Jarvan, but he has EQ available to dodge out of most of these ganks here, as there is not an engage to be found on the TL side. Just the blue buff attempt stopped as they take what farm they can. You can see the 23
Подсосал экспу на миде как босс. Ну, я думаю, все в G2 понимают, кто здесь король ранней игры. Это Янкс. Так что инвестиции нормальные. Опасный дайв-то. Ну, ТЛ, конечно, без ульты, но здесь уже... Ой, ТЛ. Дабллит без ульты, но... 2 танка с контролем подходили. Ничего не сделали. Вы видели, как Перкс ценой своего ХП бесстрашно волну просто застолил, чтобы его крипы к таверке подошли? Там Кор JJ то же самое успел сделать или нет? Не пойму. Ой, а Капс-то может и умереть сейчас. Ой, минус Янкос. У Янкса есть такая черта, да. Он очень любит 1 в 4 влетать, умирать. На всяких вот как раз Жарванах, Рексай. Ну, здесь не такая ситуация. Но все равно.
Into something that can carry the game for Team Liquid.
Attempted engage now on the bottom side. Of course, not a lot of health on Perch. Takes some hits, has to walk away. Doesn't find the pull back for the root, so it's an easy disengage now as Mickey X will not find himself in his own engage. This game right now, only 307
Янкас фанат глушака. Я думаю, что именно в таком порядке, да. Вау, это... О боже.
This lovers duo smashing right now. It's now Wonder just out of range. Smithy's done.
Double lift.
Caught out. Will walk away with his flash down.
Double lift гниет прямо во время этого БО3.
But there's nothing you can do about the bottom side as Jankos is now looking for revenge against Smithy.
For the play, in fact, does have an empowered heal. He's not going to be able to pop it. Just barely puts that in, but oh, as a flash with 2 HP left on the health bar. Just
да, кстати, это АП Ника. Янкс такой, вы думали, я закончил?
Walks forward, finds some damage, gonna flash in the snipe. Oh, it looks like a spot. The Impact's gonna stay alive. Now, will there be a heal? Will there be something else as the aftershock comes in, survives the damage? Jankos at 100, puts the flag.
Янкас, прекрати, пожалуйста. Просто уйди. Там Дженсен на мидлейне ульту разрядил. Капса.
Bottom side, Core JJ goes in for the engage.
Decent initial engage by Core, but cannot find the auto attack to stun as he didn't have the time to put it down.
Блин, нам, похоже, не покажут повтор того, как дабллифт умер. Ну, покажите. Во!
Понятно. And he ends up getting shut down.
Mickey has honestly been insane this series for G2. G2, people expected the bottom lane to be their weakness, but they've turned it into their strength. With attention from Jankos, attention in the early game.
G2 самая, наверное, такая креативная команда в плане драфтов. У них куча чуваков играют на кучу чемпионов, там топер, мидер, там постоянно могут флексить. И даже с AD-керри могут что-то флексить, потому что ну, там как было, Перкс же он был мидером у G2, но он пригласил Капса в джакузи, они там обсудили кое-что, и Перкс переманил Капса, который в Фнатиках был, да, на мид, а сам ушел на AD-керри. И в результате настолько мощно вышло, что G2 просто там почти застопили Европу, и вот, собственно, в одной карте от того, чтобы выиграть международный турнир. Минус. Так. Ай-яй-яй. Он бы убил, у него, я не знаю, какая там кухан у него перезаряжался, я думаю, он бы добил Дженсона. Он бы умер, наверное, но 2 в 1 сделал бы.
Team Liquid cannot buy an advantage, and again in the top lane, Caps is everywhere.
This is an absolute slaughter here. G2 dominating all points of the map.
Грустно, конечно, немножко за NA и за ее фанатов, им даже цепиться не за что, то есть никакой равной игры нет. Вообще. Просто аут-класс. Не знаю, Team Liquid разминировали там чуть ли не самого сильного оппонента на этом MSI, просто уничтожили его. Как я уже говорил, какая-то аномалия, и все. И вчерашний полуфинал для G2 это, собственно, финал был. А сейчас убить Team Liquid это какая-то формальность. Уже. Странные нынче времена в Лиге Легенд.
Such a move from Perks as the captain of the team to be willing to switch roles.
Уже не первый раз такое, где полуфиналы выглядят как финалы, а сам, ну, чемпионат мира такой же был, а сам финал 3-0.
Europe on top of the map.
The choice that all these players made, Caps is probably the hottest commodity in Europe, the best mid laner. He says, I will join G2. I will be the cornerstone of this super team that completes the squad. And from World Finals to MSI Finals to most likely now an MSI trophy, this team is doing exactly what it set out to do, what all the players promised each other.
TL now setting up for a play down towards the bot side of the map. G2 are wary of this because they saw the control ward, they tried to clear it out, but they didn't quite have the damage to secure it. So they're now playing on the back foot. Jankos with this information immediately moves up towards top side and starts.
Сразу начался Геральт, как только он заспаунился, там полный контроль карты. Можно делать, что хочешь. Какой-то движ в районе мидлейна пошел. Дайв капса. Он понимает? Не понимает. А чего Team Liquid делают? Зачистили варды, убили кем, поставили свои и все?
Another fight now in the mid lane. They get plenty of damage to that Jensen, who has to burn both summoners to get out of that one. Just afraid of what Jankos could have done to him. This is the lane going away and a re-engage in the mid side. They find a stun stopwatch popped as well.
Там минус 2. Сейчас УТЛ будет. Капс хочет, но передумал.
So close for Jensen and Smithy, but it is just not enough. Caps is playing out of his mind in this game 3. He wants to secure this championship for G2. He wants to secure this MSI title for Europe.
And they still have so much time to mine turret plate money off of all these winning lanes now. They have all the pressure across the whole map. They have the run of
Да, Геральт с пластинами будет.
To increase this to a monumental gold lead.
Фудскины Релли, миллион Магреза. Да, видишь? Нет. Видишь, да, собирают. Вицент спокойненько. Гнары, между прочим, вчера были и позавчера вроде тоже собирали Вицент. Ну, после Секиры, конечно же, черный. Это минус импакт. Там одна автоп сильная, да. О, боже. Не, Америка молодцы, что добрались до финала. Это тоже достижение, тоже первый раз происходит. Так что им есть чем гордиться. Довольно обидно, что фанаты будут их просто трэш-толкать за то, что они, во-первых, проиграли этот финал, а во-вторых, проиграли его вот таким образом. Настолько без шансов 0-3. Это нечестно, конечно, ну что поделать.
International best of 5. They've already taken down Faker and SKT, setting a record on the way to the first European title since 2011.
С другой стороны, каково фанатам Китая и СКТ, да, которые в полуфинале проиграли. Всем плохо. А Капс такой, да, пофиг, вообще. Но он умер, доигрался. Может, полуфинал посмотрим? Я вчера смотрел.
So much gold just got picked up for G2 there, and while Team Liquid finally get the kill onto Caps, what did it cost them, guys?
Everything.
Цитата из Мстителей подъехала от англоязычных кастеров. Мы убили Капса. Ценой чего? Ценой всего. Флопы почти. Да-да-да. Да-да-да. Не надо удивляться, что мидлейнер на Ирелии собрал ботиночек, Вицент, и вы не можете его убить.
Alright, so they try and go for Jensen again, missing both the knockup and the double stun. Causes the counter there from Team Liquid. Jensen gets the first kill, ulting onto Jankos, but Caps goes under the turret on Aurelia, making use of the mobility. Then Xmithy lands the Sejuani stun off of the passive into the ultimate.
Это ж медсестра, да? А, нет, у нее же нет этого скина. Это танцующий клинок, да, по-моему? Такая в чулочках.
If he had flashed a little bit earlier there to avoid that final order from Sejuani, he may have actually been able to turn that one around with the Wit's End kill that was coming out as well, but instead he takes the death and now he's looking for double lift. Flash will end up being used, and G2 now forced to play on the defense.
Так.
They also have a roam from Mickey in the river.
Wonder умер.
Will it be a single kill? Yes, Impact is on the board. And can they get a little more? This is the comeback TL needs, but it is a single kill. And it's cut.
Импакт Ешкой сначала решил замедлить и потом дать ульту. Ну, хотя он мог сразу ульту давать. Ну, там все в порядке было, можно сразу было ульту давать. Но хватило урон, поэтому нормально. У них там крипы на боте и на мидлейне уже в Т3 стучатся. Спрашивают, дома есть кто? Между прочим, 3 на 5. G2 сейчас отгоняет.
And the fact that G2 pushed TL back in a 3v5 is evidence enough
how
dominant this European squad is.
Level 12 Irelia. The ultimates are up and available. Only Mickey's is on cooldown, and the duo of Perks and Wonder were making their way up towards the top side. TL chose not to take that fight.
Мне кажется, или G2 без нашора могут эту игру закончить, в принципе.
Let's knock that one down. Team Liquid are going to be able to watch this one fall. They do put some members around. It is a 3 versus 4. Now it's 4 with their teammates, and Yanko's coming up. They will clear the wave. They will back up, but there's going to be an engagement. Oh, that was just.
Хотя я не верю в чистый файт, потому что много контроля у Team Liquid. Мне кажется, будет сложно так как-то поддавить под тайверами 5 на 5. Сейчас G2 отойдут. Ну, Вундер, опять человек, как невероятный топ-лейнер. Да, такая, нет. Нет, последняя игра, конец до 20-й минуты. Ой-ой-ой, какой унижалити. Боже мой. Господи.
G2 Esports 3-0 will win MSI 2019.
Да. Сетап из 5 человек, который заработал. Это очень круто. Что не зачелкали. Ни в Европе, ни здесь. Ну ладно, у них там были, конечно, такие моменты спорные на международном. Полуфинал комментирую. Подожди, я хочу церемонию награждения посмотреть и интервью тоже послушать. Очень, между прочим, зрелище давай. Сейчас сверху пойдут финтифлюшки такие полетят. Камера на пикселе. Изображение на пикселе сломается и так далее. И идет такой саппорт, замены. Промиски. Так, ребята, отойдите. Отойдите, да, дайте-ка, расступитесь, дайте главному человеку взять трофей. Супер заслуженно. Ну чё, ребят, мы официально играем на самом сильном сервере в мире.
What a monumental achievement for G2 Esports.
Дженсен расстроен.
Such a huge victory. They fought hard. They had to fight their way through SKT. They had to fight through Team Liquid, and they did it in such convincing fashion. Perks there, the man that this team was built around. Such a monumental achievement.
Вот это просто прекрасный человек. Супер саппорт. Вот это тоже вообще сумасшедший.
The last 2 years certainly proof times are changing. A finals at Worlds 2018 for Europe, and now a victory, taking home the MSI Championship.
Неудобно, да, поднимать, когда ты ни одной игры не сыграл. Саппорт замены.
When Rookie won World said, you know, it would mean more if Faker was there. Well, Faker was here and G2 went right
Вдвоем.
2-0 in the group stage.
Тренер и... Вот это вроде он и тренер, и этот... Ну, и директор вот, команды. А вот что, вот этот чувак, я не знаю. Дуо поднимает кубок. Вот это рэп-год, девушка вьетнамская, она супер быстро говорит и переводит. Прям моментально. У нее как будто, она как будто робот, и у нее такой этот, выключатель такой ж с английского на вьетнамский. О, это Taipei Assassins. Ничего себе. Какие?
哇，好开心！再一次看到我们的 TPA 成员们聚首。
Чемпионы мира дарят чемпионам свои медали. Награждают.
A trophy hoisted in front of the crowd in Taipei.
And my question now is, how far can this team go? They've shown absolute dominance in Europe.
Две медальки. Одна лишняя. Правильно, 2 тренера. Или это другая девушка?
As a European, you can't but help feel a sense of pride. Last year, we came so close with 2 teams in the semi-finals, with a single team at the final.
Ну, видишь, умеешь тренера насмешить. Все, будешь заменой в составе, который выигрывает чемпионат. А, нет, вон вторая вышла. Переводчик. Вундер одевает обувь. В полуфинале вчерашнем он забыл это сделать. И вышел в носках пожимать руки с КТ. От радости забыл обуться. Что-то нам как-то показывают повтор. Вместо того, чтобы показывать то, что на сцене происходит. Ну, ладно.
Well, commanding 3-0. Once again, Europe are top dogs in League of Legends. A world semi-final just last year, beating the MSI champions in RNG. And then this time around, defeating the greatest team of all time in Faker's SK Telecom T1.
Папа Капса, он в очках седой. Или Перкса, кто-то из них. По-моему, Капса. Такой прям классный мужик. Супер болеет. Да, по дабллифту всегда непонятно, вот когда он после поражения так улыбается и что-то говорит, это прям вот вообще непонятно. Ну как это, улыбка, скрывающая боль, дабллифт, скрывающий боль.
You know, I have to question, how does Worlds look this year? You know, coming into the group stages, Europe and North American teams are not free wins anymore. They're not the teams that the East hopes to get in their groups. These are upsetters. These guys have been able to successfully close the gap.
And here we go, one more time. An interview now with G2 Esports, your MSI champions.
Congratulations on winning the first MSI trophy for G2 and for Europe. Congratulations. 首先我们要请问的是我身边的 Perks。那今天呢，他在拿下了这一次 MSI 的冠军之后，他作为一个新人的 ADC 选手，他怎么看待自己作为 ADC 在全球的排名呢 ？After this MSI and winning this trophy home, where do you see yourself as rookie AD carry?
Well, I'm the best.
他说我是最强的，我想成为最强。OK, congratulations, improve yourself. 接下来下一个问题呢，问问是Perks。其实今天他们也是在赛前的采访当中 ，Perks 有说到，他不仅仅想要成为冠军，同时他想要成为传奇。那他想要被怎么样的去成为一个铭记的选手呢？Second question goes to Cavs. As you mentioned in the previous interview, you say that you not only want to be the champion, but also the legend. So, what kind of player you'd like to be known or to be remembered as?
I mean, obviously, I want to win as much as possible. Right from day one when I joined EU, it was not really looking good that good internationally. But I hope that I and my team could become good enough that we could compete internationally, and I just want to win as many trophies as we can.
Она спросила, она говорит, в предыдущем интервью ты говорил, что не хочешь не только победить, но еще и, ну, стать легендой, типа, запомниться. Вот. Ну и что-то она спросила, уже забыл. Блин, не успеваю переводить.
What does it mean to you to be able to be part of the G2 legacy and now winning the second major title for Europe?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just feels pretty good to be able to leave that trophy on international stage. This year is my first time that I won the split in Europe, and I also won a trophy on international stage. So I'm really happy, you know, to be in this team, be a part of this team, and just enjoy it.
Ну, Янкас говорит, что наконец-то это был первый раз, когда он выиграл чемпионат домашней Европы, и следом за ним же выиграл MSI, и для него это просто вообще невероятно быть частью G2 и добиться таких результатов. Ну, а Капс говорил, что он просто хочет выиграть как можно больше всего. Все, что возможно выиграть. Что когда он присоединился в Европу, у него было такое себе выступление, но потом он раскрылся и вот играет сейчас вот на такой уровень.
Okay, next question goes to Wonder. We can see that you're considered one of the best top laner in the world, especially like your large or huge champion Ocean. And we can see your top hike is so impressive. So how did you prepare such kind of spicy picks for MSI?
I think it just comes down to like my team being really creative, and we kind of support each other. So if someone has an idea, we are all like on board with it at this like almost instantly. Whereas on other teams, maybe they would be a bit more skeptical. But on this team, we are free to do like whatever we want when it comes to our champion pool, and I think that's like a big reason that we succeed as much as we do with like the pocket picks we have.
У нас говорит, типа, Вундер, ты один из лучших топеров мира, и во многом благодаря своему там океану пиков, которые ты можешь вообще, ну, откуда у тебя такое количество пиков и прочее. Но он ответил, что это во многом идет от всей нашей команды, и если мы что-то находим, мы, как другие команды, не боимся это попробовать, ну, пробуем, да, и если это получается, все прекрасно, мы, мол, делаем, что хотим вообще.
好，那接下来下一个问题要问到的是 Mika， 我想问问的是，因为今天他们能够拿到这样的一个冠军，对于他来说，他的脑海当中，在最后一局比赛的时候，他的脑海里想到的最多的是什么？Next question goes to Miki. So what's like the point of focus at the last moment in the last game?
Well, in the last game, we were just kind of expecting them to pull out something weird. But they kind of went with some standard stuff that they usually play, so we're really confident, even from draft, that we're gonna win. So yeah, and then everything went according to plan in early game as well, so it was just kind of smooth sailing.
Я не совсем понял, что она спросила, ну, там, типа, о чем думал в последней игре. Вот, он сказал, что они думали, что TL выкатит какие-то, ну, необычные, странные пики, но они выкатили то, чем обычно играют, и нам было очень комфортно против них играть. Ну, и мы победили легко.
You guys are so creative and intelligent. 我们可以看到 G2 所有的人都是非常非常的有创意的。那我们想知道，教练你们的这一些 BP 的创意都是来自于哪里呢？
I don't have an earpiece, so I can't understand.
Okay, so where did all this kind of pick and bans came from in this tournament? Because you're so creative and intelligent.
Okay. As one always said, the team is very creative in itself. That means they constantly come every day with a pick. Oh, this could work, this could work. Usually it's like really troll, but like a pipe top, for example, works really well. So just a daily work of sitting through what can actually work. And it's a blessing playing with them. So it's really easy for me in draft.
Мы
спросили у тренера, откуда идет вообще такая креативность и прочее, такие умные драфты. Он говорит, ну, это все идет от команды, они пробуют всякие вещи, то, что получается, добавляется, и драфт становится супер легко, когда у тебя такое огромное количество чемпионов, которым можно флексить. Капсулы MVP MSI 2019. Да, точно, его папа хорошо показывает. И вот его видели, его мужик лысый так подвинул вперед, мол, выйдем отсюда вот. Смотри, картофель, милый мальчик же, ну.
他在人群当中一直在为 Caps 加油和助威。我想这样的一个非常有意义的时刻，想问一问 Caps 对于他的父亲有什么想说的？
это, наверное, про папу говорят, да, все на него смотреть стали, что, мол, вот папа его.
So at this special moment, anything you'd like to say to your father?
I want to thank my dad for always coming. It feels good to finally bring back a trophy. Too many times I've come back from international tournaments or just from EU with a loss, and my dad and my family have to support me and they have to get me through this. But this time we have to celebrate.
Прекрасно, прекрасно. Спросил его там про отца сказать, он говорит, я благодарен папе, и так много раз я приходил домой с поражением, с международного турнира или даже с домашнего, и семья поддерживала меня. Но в этот раз, наконец-то, я приду, и мы будем праздновать.
但是这一次，我终于能够把这样的一个奖杯赢回家，我们可以一起庆祝这一个开心的时刻。Congratulations and thank you, and also thank you, Caps Dad, thank you. 好了，那我相信很多人对于今天 G2 的表现应该都会非常的好奇，因为 G2 在整个世界赛上可以说是颠覆了我们所有的认知，或者说是对于我们英雄联盟的一些解读。那他是怎么样看待这样的一件事情的呢 ？Okay, the next question I would like to ask Caps. So G2 is always trying new things and also put out all kinds of spicy picks. So do you think G2 has changed the understanding of League of Legends or understanding of this meta?
So I mean, I definitely think that a lot of people will take a lot of things from this tournament. I think since Worlds, teams started pulling out a lot more things and people started playing a lot more aggressive. But from this MSI especially, I think people will go back to a lot more of their own comfort picks, try out the champions they're good at, and just go with it.
Она спросила со всеми вашими такими перчеными пиками, перчеными точеными, со всей креативностью, как вы думаете, не изобрели ли вы новую мету, будут ли там вас копировать там и прочее? Капс говорит, что ему кажется, что многие будут смотреть на этот MSI, многие из него подчеркнут большое количество вещей, но, наверное, команды просто будут играть комфортными пиками. Будет в зоне комфорта.
So we're gonna try our best. I still think we have a lot to improve on. We came into the tournament wanting to get our revenge against IG, and we left with a 0-2 record against them. So I think IG is the team we're looking to get a revenge against Worlds, and if we beat them, then I'm sure we can beat anyone.
Wow.
Она спросила, ну что там, какие ожидания от чемпионата мира? Капс говорит, мы будем улучшать нашу игру, и мы хотели расквитаться с IG, от которых, 0-2 вот в групповой стадии получили. Но не получилось. И если на чемпионате мира мы победим IG, то я уверен, мы победим вообще кого угодно. Cooldown пошел.
Welcome to MSI Cooldown after G2's 3-0 sweep in the final.
Три европейца сидят, между прочим.
Joined by Vedius and Froskurin. We're going to hear more from Caps and Perks in a few minutes, but for now, G2, I'm trying to. You guys aren't bringing as much energy as
No.
You guys were supposed to be. I thought you guys were going to be crazy and you're going to bring me up. I was trying to figure out the appropriate way to celebrate in this moment because I'm in shock. I'll be honest. I'm still a little bit in shock.
Good guys, G2. They saw that Fnatic currently held the record for fastest loss in an international series, and G2 are like, Fnatic, we got you. Not only will we bring home the trophy to Europe, we'll also scrub your name from the record books and just pencil in Team Liquid.
I mean, it's strange, right? Because after what were such close and crazy semi-finals, I think expectations were that this would be a back and forth, a contrast of styles, the peak of each respective region finally battling it out, and it ended up just being a very one-sided affair. And I think that I wasn't expecting that. Even yesterday on Cooldown, I predicted 3-1. I thought that while G2 were the stronger team, I was expecting Team Liquids to showcase a lot of their strength, but I don't think they had an opportunity to, because G2 just they suffocated them, and you can't take anything away from Team Liquid because it was just there was a clear gap between Team Liquid and G2 that was kind of demonstrated.
And look, you can say that you expected more, but as an EU fan, which I can shamelessly say now that the tournament is over, I personally enjoyed watching what I think we can safely call absolute destruction. Let's take a look back at that series, and it was Mickey X, I feel like, giving an all-star performance.
Yeah, Caps came away with the MVP. Mickey X was definitely my honorable shout-out here.
Да, в такой команде, как G2, по-моему, невероятно сложно MVP выбирать, потому что каждый достоин.
And we saw two different metas over the course of this tournament. In the TL-IG series, it was all about the late game team fighting. It always came down to a 5v5. But in SKT versus G2,
но если бы я выбирал, конечно, между Вундером, Капсом и Микексом. Они как-то ярче сияли, если так вспомнить вообще все игры.
Many people questioned at the beginning of the year, is this trade smart?
Ну вот смотрите, Кушка откатывается 3, 2, 1, и он бы просто прыгнул, добил бы Синдера там. Он бы умер, конечно, но все равно это был 2-1 под вражеским тавером в конце.
Yeah, and I do want to give a shout out to Perks as well. You know, coming into this series, I had a lot of questions about Perks. I thought Core JJ and Double were definitely going to be the stronger 2v2 down there. Perks and Mickey were taking very aggressive trades. Perks came to play today. He absolutely slammed in that bottom lane, looked great.
And to be fair, coming out of group stage, I think those fears were absolutely justified. We saw the Ezreal Tom Kench game, things were falling apart.
Я сказал, что мне кажется, они закончат и без Нашора. Я не думал, что они закончат через 1,5 минуты после моих слов.
So many close exchanges where people are walking away with blinking health bars, but they are still always able to come out on top in the kill trades.
I legitimately think this is what like peak G2 looks like, right? And I don't know if they can get better than this. Like if they can, that's even more terrifying. But yesterday against SKT, it felt like that both teams had like high and low moments, right? Whereas this, it felt like every single member was playing at the best that they possibly could. And like, we haven't even talked about Wonder, right? Like, and think about that, right? Wonder, arguably one of the best, I mean, Shy praised him as the second best top laner in the world, right? He was not really a conversation in this series, yet he had so much impact, like, on the sidelines. Like, it was all about Mickey's engages, Yankees' setups, like, the whole team just came to play today. They really wanted that title.
And something I love that we heard from Caps is that they still want IG, that they're not content with just an MSI. The MSI title is massive. I think it's huge for LEC, it's huge for Europe, it means so much. But Caps is such a competitor that he's looking at the next thing already. He's like, the next trophy, getting better. He's not even taking a second to stop and say, hey, we did great, this is awesome, we're gonna relax for a little while. He said, yeah, I'll get some time with my family, but also, when it comes to my career, I just want to take it to the next level. And how can we be better? How can I be better?
And the irony of this is that when Rookie won his world championship, he said, it doesn't mean as much because I didn't go through Faker. Caps now says, it doesn't mean as much because I didn't go through Rookie. The man that has been Caps' kryptonite for God knows how long, and he beat Faker. He and G2 took down SKT, and they sat there and said, this still isn't enough. Until we overcome our demons, it's not enough. And like, it only sets up for a perfect storyline at Worlds.
This is like a rock, paper, scissors, Pokemon triangle right here. Caps beats Faker, Faker beats Rookie, Rookie beats Caps. Like, has to get resolved at some point.
But who gets to be Charmander? That's the real question.
Shout out to LS with the Pokemon references. Of course, looking across though, I think this is fantastic, as you mentioned. One of the most dominant series we've ever seen. And for G2 as a whole, I think now coming back into LEC with this much on their shoulder, it feels like they might just be unstoppable until we move into Rift Rivals.
I'm gonna say it now. First few weeks, G2's gonna lose. They're gonna be tired. They're gonna drop some games.
They want to take a break. Yeah. They don't want to be scrimming as hard.
I'm not gonna hold that against them. They've just won an MSI. If they drop a couple games at the beginning of the split, I will not be surprised.
But of course, wait, broadcast it'll be MSI champions.
Yeah.
How can you take down G2? Yeah. And as soon as someone takes them down, amazing!
But what this now is, this will only make our region hungrier. It will only make it more competitive because now there's a benchmark for the European teams to work towards, and everyone is going to be eyeing G2 to try and upset them going into the next LEC split.
I also think it's extension to all of the West, and it should be to all of the teams. We talked about kind of that mental blocker, it feels like should be removed now that you've gone through both Invictus Gaming and SKT for both TL and G2, but it's this idea that, you know, we know that we can win now playing our style, so this should be a wake-up call to everyone. You can do it. You are not predetermined to always be in fourth or third place.
And I like it especially, those final words from Caps.
Не знаю, стиль стилем.
Do exactly what you want to do. I think no surprise to see him.
Но играть своим стилем, извините, одни стили могут быть слабее других. Вот G2 стиль, где у них куча флекс-пиков и талантливые люди, там топпер-мидер, которые могут играть на одном и том же почти. И еще есть Перкс, который тоже мидер, который тоже может взять и, как в последней игре вчера против СКТ, пикнули Синдру. А это не мид Синдра, это АДК Синдра. Вот еще один флекс.
When we looked at how good this guy was. Not like most historic. He does not have the greatest number of achievements, but in terms of individual best, conversation started, and now I feel like he's probably, at least right now.
Do you know what all that matters? EU mids, man. EU mids.
EU mids. Well, to get some more insight from the players, as Shox is ready with Caps and Birds, let's send it over.
Еще интервьюха.
Thank you very much, Perks and Caps. Indeed, they even brought the trophies, I should say, the MSI trophy and the MVP trophy. Congratulations also from my side for you guys. I know you guys already talked a lot on the stage, but now that everything's kind of sunk in, maybe Caps, you first. Of course, you don't only win your first international title, also the MVP title. Now that it's sunk in for a minute, how do you feel about everything?
So as I said on stage, I still want to beat IG. But at the same time, obviously we're celebrating now. Probably gonna celebrate for a few weeks, and then the LEC starts, and then we have to go on again. But I think we're just celebrating and happy.
I love how you look at Perks, and you're just trying to get like something out of him. Perks, tell me about what it all means for you, and just to summarize, you've been fighting for this for so long internationally. Plus, you made the move to AD carry only this year. That must be phenomenal.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of crazy, honestly. I don't know what to say. I'm just super grateful because last year I was even in a tougher spot, like mentally, individually. So I wasn't really sure how to deal with it after like the success we had, and then we didn't have success at all. So I think I learned a lot from that year, and I'm just super grateful for my org and all the players we have that we actually managed to like get this far so short time. And it's actually really crazy because I haven't even played with Mickey for like 3 months almost, and we actually won MSI. Like, what is even going on? You know, like, it's a lot of thoughts, but yeah, I'm just super grateful.
Yeah, is it hard to realize because you've both been fighting for it so hard? You so long. You of course had the heartbreak of Worlds just a couple of months ago, Caps. Does that make you appreciate this even more?
I mean, for sure it does, right? We didn't really know what to expect going into this lineup. We knew that we would need some time, or that's what I thought. But it turns out that we were just like kind of good from day one. We clicked very fast together, and we never really had problems. So it's hard to like say, like it's not something you can predict, right? But everything ended up going good for us, and now we're here.
Yeah, tell me about today, because of course at the end of the group stage, it was a bit up and down. You know, you guys lost those 3 games in a row, but then you ended up beating SKT, and then today you looked like a different team. You know, how come? Were you just feeling incredibly in the zone and poised for that trophy?
Well, I don't know. Like, I feel like we are the team that actually plays really well under pressure, but I also feel like we play really poorly in some games that don't matter, but kind of do matter anyways. And that's just because of, I don't know, our mindset or the way we approach the game, and that's something that kind of needs to be fixed for future, because yeah, we want to be the team that wants to dominate all the time, not be like, we don't want to have bad games as well. So yeah, I feel like today everything has been so on point, from preparation to draft, in execution in game, and the communication was really clean as of compared to like our yesterday series even. Yesterday series was fine, but we were like a bit lost, I feel like, and we were like doing a lot of stuff that we shouldn't be doing. And yeah, of course, way better than the last 3 games of group stage, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Today, I think we played so good. So I'm really happy.
I also think we had a team that's like really good at preparing, and it's hard to prepare in an MSI for every game because you play so many games back and forth, and it's just kind of like random when you go into the games. But when it's like one team you play, then it's easier to prepare for. And the same kind of thing maybe goes for when it's like we're locked first and maybe we don't have as much preparation, and then we seem a lot worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Caps, you won the MVP here today. Is there anyone you
MVP.
both want to shout out in terms of in your team or in your bigger team or in the fandom as you went through this MSI challenge? Who really stepped up for you guys?
I mean, I think.
Is there anyone you want to shout out? I'm sorry, that was a bit confusing.
I was gonna shout out to Caps.
Okay.
I think he's doing an insane job, and yeah, he's just playing really well. A lot of games, not every game.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think he deserves everything he gets. So.
Thank you. I mean, now I want to give a shout out to you as well, right? You reroll to 80, and already we are winning at MSI. So, and it's even like a bot meta, right? So it's pretty crazy. But at the same time, I feel like everyone on our team did so well. I think to just give a shout out right now, I kind of want to give a shout out to Promiscu, just because I'm sure everyone else will get like a lot of credit. But going into MSI, we were scrimming with Promiscu, and we were playing a lot with Promiscu because of Miki's hand. And he obviously no one will ever know, but I still think he's really good.
And just to add up, like me and Promiscu were winning 90% of lanes in our games. Just saying, this guy is really good.
Mm-hmm.
it was fun playing with him.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because I feel like you can just give a shout out to everyone, because then you see Miki, who
Support
barely practiced and is still popping
замены
off, and Jankos, who, I mean, you know, he's smurfing every game, and same with Wonder, pulling out the pike and stuff. So I think everyone's doing really well. I think that's what you need if you want to actually win MSI. So that's pretty good for everyone.
Yeah.
Also coaching staff.
Coaching staff.
Yeah, the coaching staff.
I mean, your owner maybe also
Yes.
watching. Just give him a shout out. Come on. I tried, Carlos.
Go to G2 shop.
G2.com/shop for this wonderful jersey. There is right there. We love them. So
You did. Oh, we got that out of the way. I just finally want to look forward. Then I know you already said, you know, we didn't go through any
Шокс такая, ну, может, тренерский штаб похвалите, да? Там своего тимовнера. Зайдите там на сайт G2, там купите мерч.
Of happening. What does that mean for the future for Europe and for G2?
I mean, I think that when I was like going up to be a pro gamer, I really want to win worlds, but I was talking with a lot of people, and for a lot of people, that was not the goal, because people didn't even think worlds as a thing you can win. People thought that it's just going to be the Koreans who will win that, and you can compete to win EU, and that's like the best thing you can have, right? But that's why. But now that we won MSI, I'm sure that a lot of people, new players, rookies who is out there, they get a lot more motivated because they know they can be the best. They can't just be the best in the EU and the West.
It's actually pretty funny because like 2 years ago when I was playing on the 2017 G2 lineup, we had kind of high goals, but I feel like it was only me and Sven who actually believed that we could win worlds, and everyone else on the team didn't really feel like they believed in that. They thought we were good, but especially like I remember Mitty told me something like, he told me I will go to NA because we're probably never gonna win worlds or something, right, or something like that. And then I was like, yeah, and now here I am standing here, and yeah, shout out to Mitty because he talks to me a lot, and we talk, and we are shout out to everyone else from that lineup as well. They all wrote to me yesterday, wish me good luck. So yeah, here I am winning a championship, I guess.
Oh wow, fantastic that they give you some words of
Между прочим, Мити в команде, которая в финале с G2 сражалась в этом вот сплите домашнем. Так что Мити, он тоже, он вернулся в Европу и нормально так камбэкнулся.
Thank you.
Absolutely love so many things about that interview. Favorite part was the shades shown at Ocelot. Congrats, Ocelot. You want to champion your players, still aren't afraid to knock you down.
But I think they still made him proud by promoting him.
By shop, whatever. I won't do it here. You want a jersey,
beautiful
go get a jersey.
How can you not, like, from, it's a storyline we've talked a lot about, from villains to heroes, right? Where G2 were the disappointment of Europe. They were the team that let us down.
They were the vacation team.
Right? There was 2016, MSI, like it was this spot 3 years ago where G2 and 8, the meme, started, right? And then they went to Worlds twice, failed to get out of groups. The second time, they lost to Albus Nox Luna.
Yeah.
Like, G2, as an organization, from an EU fan's perspective, was never anything that you could put your faith in, because they would always disappoint, right? And then, after the year of failure last year, where they couldn't win any splits, they couldn't find any success, they make it to the semi-finals by taking down RNG, and they begin the journey to winning their first MSI title. And the amount of turnaround, the amount of effort these players, this org, and this team has had to put in order to turn that narrative around has been so massive, and I'm happy to finally see it.
To be fair, they're not entirely above the bad boy image, though, because Wonder did tweet before the series, ready for the fastest international best of 5 ever played. So while Europe might love them right now, I don't think they're making any friends out there in the rest of the world. I think it's safe to say.
I don't know about you guys, but since I've been in Europe, this has been great.
We have a theory that you might be the secret to our success, because you left LPO 1 and then you left, and now
I'll take it, it's fine.
Frost is an LEC now. Don't try to take her. MSI 2019 might be over, but of course there's tons of action coming up in the regional leagues. Team Liquid will return to the LCS the 1st of June, with G2 starting their run for another trophy the week after. In addition to this, the next week 8 teams will be gathering in the LCS Battle Arena to fight for the college championship as UCI look to defend their title from last year. And good news, North American fans, a North American team has to win that one.
Oh, that's rude. I was just about to say, the gap is behind you. I am tired of hearing about that conversation. I'm going to say it. It is dead. Yeah, you can say whatever you want about that TL-IG series or this TL versus G2 series, but the fact of the matter was Europe and North America made it for a finals. Worlds is wide open.
Yeah. No longer will NA and EU in a groups be seen as a free win. Like this is going to be a completely different World Championship. It's going to be very exciting.
And I look forward now to watching LCK and going, oh my god, what is this fiesta? This is an LEC. I'm joking. I love you guys LCK fans. So for myself, the casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, don't blame me. Thank you for watching MSI 2019, and we'll see you for the return of regional leagues. Goodbye.
EU is the best!
Там напоследок сказали, теперь не будет такого вот на чемпионате мира, что если у вас в группе Америка или Европа, это фривин. Ну, это спорно, конечно. Много времени. Я верю, наверное, что G2 не задохнутся за следующий сплит. Ух, все показывают. Сейчас и наших покажут, между прочим. Наша команда. Вот. Но, блин, Team Liquid в финале все-таки нормально так захлебнулись 0-3. А вот Европа, думаю, Европа будет, конечно, гораздо больше бояться, чем Америка.
Good decisions there made. All game one there for Fenerbahce.
Yeah, Akula.
Pick after pick after pick. Vegas Squadron will fly undefeated towards the knockout stage.
PBB take down Fenerbahce and will move on to the bracket stage.
Team Liquid and MSI mainstays Flash Wolves qualified for the group stage.
No nonsense this time around. Game 5. Everything on the line.
Мы почти добрались в основную стадию 2-3. Почти.
Will be forfeit as well, and PBB might not need the Baron to end this game. Buffalo fought so hard to get here, but they will take the final spot in MSI groups.
What a way to kick off MSI proper here with G2, the European hope, going up against the most legendary organization, I think, ever in League of Legends.
Steals the Featherstone, buys a few extra seconds.
Да, Фейкер, конечно, жестко играл в этой серии. Сейчас покажут обязательно его... Нет. Спасибо. Сейчас должны показать ульту Фейкера на Сайлосе. Подождите, это же групповые стадии еще, лол. Или нет? Да.
Double is now going to be in some trouble. 4-man lockdown from the mid laner. It's a double kill over to Betty, and the Flash Wolves will rend Team Liquid asunder.
Wonder, though, dishing out so much damage on the backside. Not buying time, but Zeros is here right on top of Perks. He's going to grab the kill. The Lysandra passive.
В последний день G2 проиграли 2 игры. И очень странно смотрелись. Супер нестабильно. А СКТ, наоборот, камбэкнулись. И поэтому вот эта серия вчерашняя СКТ G2, я прям знал, что она будет супер клоузовой. Блин, как же я рад, что G2 и СКТ победили. Потому что... Ну, это, во-первых, и заслуженно, а во-вторых, сейчас бы СКТ победили бы ТЛов и выиграли бы этот MSI, было бы скучно.
Team Liquid advance to the semi-finals.
After 10 days of grueling competition, only 4 teams remain in the tournament. IG have been above the rest so far, securing the top spot in dominant fashion, only dropping a single game to SK Telecom T1.
This is going to be a difficult best-of-5 for Team Liquid.
Invictus Gaming are the huge, overwhelming favorites.
Welcome to the first game of the MSI 2019 knockout stage.
Gonna be stunned up, flash into the kick, and there's your first blood. Invictus Gaming get themselves on the board.
The Shy goes in, knows he's going to be able to get that root, follows it up with...
Первая игра между IG и TL была самая такая жесткая. Назад-вперед, назад-вперед. А потом IG, ну они выиграли одну, да, и все. И как будто у них топливо кончилось. Oh my god, oh my god!
Take down the reigning world champs!
We have a rematch, the 2017 MSI Finals, as the representatives from LCK and LEC battle for a shot at North America in the final.
Khan's coming in with a slicing maelstrom into all of G2! Caps is already down! Perks follows!
Just so you know, I need to warm up, because I'm always bad game one.
Капс там говорит, ребят, просто знайте, мне всегда нужна разминка на первую игру. Вот и Вундер заканчивает. Guys.
North America face Europe at the MSI Finals! Welcome to the finals of the 2019 mid-season invitation.
Блин, а я концерт, кстати, пропустил весь. Надо будет концерт посмотреть. Он не очень большой, наверное. Последний файт финальной карты.
So far, G2 has shown us better games, and rightfully so. They're at match point.
That's a big stun. Oh my gosh! Look at the fight. This is
Нет, подождите, да, это во второй карте было. Я сам запутался.
G2 Esports 3-0 will win MSI 2019.
Вот это правильные блестки, они не факапят камеры на пикселе. Так, в итоге что у нас? LCS это Америка 1 июня, Европа 7. Что это, Океания, что ли? 7, Корея 5, Бразилия 1. Вот Океания 7. Это что тогда? Это у нас Китай. Китай вообще 14 стартует. Мы позже всех, наверное, как обычно. Да, мы позже всех. Господи. 1 июня... нет, вот Китай. Это Китай, а это ЛМС, да. Это я не помню, что. Япония, это, наверное. Япония 15-го, Турция 8-го, Латинская Америка тоже 8-го, Вьетнам 13-го, и мы самый последний 6 июля. Аж 6 июля стартуем. Да. Смотрите-ка, у нас Америка самая такая быстрая. Вместе с бразильцами. Ну, вот и подошел, в общем-то, к концу MSI. Как и прошлый чемпионат мира, сам финал получился 3-0, без шансов, к сожалению. И полуфиналы были такими принципиальными финалами между двумя командами. Забавно, что повторилась история. Так вот, посмотрим, что будет на чемпионате мира 2019 года. Но Америка и в особенности Европа все равно оба региона и обе команды, они совершили историю, прошли в финал. Кто бы этот финал не выиграл, да, он, соответственно, добыл бы для себя первый международный трофей, не считая Фнатиков первого сезона или второго, когда там чемпионат мира первый был, не помню уже. Вот такой вот вышел финал. Если тут еще кто-то остался, спасибо, что зашли, что посмотрели со мной, составили компанию. Пока на этом все. Думаю, вечером еще запущусь. Не знаю с чем, но думаю, стримец будет. А пока там подписывайтесь, если было интересно, там все дела, да, и давайте. Хорошего вам воскресенья. До встречи.